Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark. Today, of course, is July 25th, 2021. Today's been an interesting day, from Tarantino saying he's still quitting, but none of us truly believe it, to Marilyn Manson actually going to jail here very soon. It's been a wild day, so why don't we talk about it right now? Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. My name is Matt Jarbo. It is Friday night, and yeah, I'm on camera. I know I am normally not on camera. We'll see how StreamYard goes tonight. We'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping it doesn't suck, is what I'm trying to say here, because, I mean, you know, this ugly mug is going to try to entertain you for the next hour or so, including maybe taking some of your phone calls if that's what you guys want to do tonight. And it's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting day in Hollywood, just to say the least. It's Friday. In the Northwest, we're battling one of the worst heat storms of all time. It is very, very warm in my room. You might see me start to actually turn the color of my shirt because of how hot it's going to get, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just another day in paradise. Let's take a quick look here at the chat, see what you guys are up to. Geeks Studios asking or saying, hope you're doing well. Hey, man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, it was an interesting day. I finally went to my final orthopedic doctor appointment, got the all clear. So after the last 2 months of dealing with the back injury and all that stuff, I'm finally cleared on that front. So that's good. No more MRIs, no more x-rays, just 100% 3 fractured vertebrae in the back, but they're better now. They've healed. Anyway, Richard here says, surprised that the Karen trailer isn't one of your main topics. It's getting all his Hollywood discussions recently. I did talk about and show Karen the other day on the episode. I need to start timestamping these things, as was recommended to me by a friend. So there's definitely that. But, you know, yeah, what I need to do is do a bit of a deep dive into Karen. The concept of the movie is one of those things where I don't quite know what to think about it. I get that they're trying to go for, like, there's like that Get Out vibe they're trying to capture. I mean, that's apparent. Coke Daniels looked at how Jordan Peele shot Get Out, and he's like, I can do that. You know, very, very similar to how me as a YouTuber will look at other YouTubers and go, I can totally do that. That is totally a thing I can do. And therefore I rip off the format, as we all do. Art is just art imitating other art that came before it, maybe putting your own spin. But Karen is going to be a fascinating movie. I want to see it because it doesn't look good. I know the social message is trying to send. I know all that stuff. It just doesn't look good to me, but we'll have to wait and see here. Let's see. Geek Studio says, smash that like button. That's right. Patrick here saying, talking about Quentin Tarantino, says he's smart to quit, then says Karen movies. If you haven't seen the Karen trailer, I might play it again tonight. It is that level of wild. H. Bartz with the $5 right off the bat says, didn't Tarantino say he was retiring after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? No, he says that's his 9th movie. He said he just has 10 movies in him and then he's going to quit. And I don't really believe that, because I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't believe that at all. Katsuka says here, well, look at what we got here. Don't know what you mean by that. If it's my face, I apologize. I can't do much about this, but I can say, not to brag or humble brag, but I have been intermittently fasting for the past couple months. And as a result of that, I'm now down about 12 pounds. I don't really look it, but every time I go to weigh myself, I am down more weight. So I'm very happy with that. Very, very good with that as well. TW here says, hey, Jarbo, what's going on? TW, how you doing, buddy? Lord Slug here says, the Batman would have been released today. That blew my mind. That the Batman was going to be released today. That absolutely blew my mind. I totally spaced. And now I'm pissed off because I want to see the Batman. Geeks here saying, I'm surprised you didn't get a copyright claim for Karen. Who's going to copyright that? I mean, at this point, BET wants you to talk about that movie. They want everyone to talk about that movie. Why? Because the concept is so good. You know what I might do? A guy I know does these videos. It's like Twitter versus. And I've been and it's been recommended to me to try the similar kind of concept when talking about movies, because, you know, oftentimes there's a lot of very interesting and blistering hot takes that come out of Hollywood, come out of Twitter. Let's be fair. Lord knows I have a few of them myself. I have a few of those hot takes I put out there myself every once in a while. and gets me in a little bit of trouble. I have a, especially with some fandoms, I get people mad at me all the time. However, if you hear cars in the background, I'm not shutting that window. I need some breeze in here. It is very warm in my office. And so anyway, the idea is to kind of try different content, right? I don't really want to break out and do the individual news stories. I know today I responded to Doomcock because it infuriated the ever-loving shit out of me. How that man can sit there and just blatantly lie to his audience, like just completely lie to his audience all the time about every little thing that he says is a flat-out fallacy. And they just gobble it up. They gobble it up like the money shot of a porn film. They're just there, come right in my mouth, daddy. That's all. It's all it is all the time. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Anyway, I did see your Simon section, $5. Thank you, says. I would love to see Quentin Tarantino's last movie to be about the Moors. Just watched the monologue scene given by Dennis Hopper to Christopher Walken in True Romance. It's been such a long time since I've seen True Romance. I need to definitely give that a watch again, but I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And I'd like to see Quentin Tarantino do anything. I really wanted to see a Star Trek movie. I wanted to see Star Trek dialogue, the socialist utopia that was Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, as dialogued by Quentin Tarantino. Because he would find like some racial epithet for like Klingon that is the equivalent of like the N-word, and then a character would say it like multiple times, whether you wanted them to or not. And everyone would applaud him for it. They go, it would just be amazing dialogue, Quentin Tarantino, amazing dialogue, folks. I just love that. Anyway, Gregory the Graph saying hello from Netherlands. Hey, Gregory, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on in, man. All right. So the Long Halloween here is pretty good, according to Lord's Luck. I need to see that. I have a copy of it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. It's hard to sleep. The next 3 days in Washington are going to be over 100 degrees tomorrow, 110 degrees on Sunday, over 100 degrees on Monday, and then like in the mid 90s on Tuesday, and it's going to suck. So I might just sit in bed, take my biggest fan, which is like some 35-inch Cyclone one I got right here. You can kind of see it right there. And then just like take that motherfucker and put it like right in my room, just blast me in the face again, like the money shot of a porno. All right, let's see here. Shiny asks the hard question, the good question here. $5. Thank you, sir. Says, I've been wanting to intermittently fast. Do you just drink liquids in between meals? No. Intermittently fasting is I eat between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. That's it, 8 hours. And then I'm off for 16. I do drink liquids, preferably water or tea, low calorie things. There are nights where I don't get it right. There are nights where I'm just exhausted and I'm hungry and I try to have protein. There are other nights where, I'm like when I went into Army of the Dead, I bought it was after 5. And so I had dinner, like a light dinner. And then I went to the theater and I bought myself a popcorn because fuck you. I'm going to go see a movie. I'm going to enjoy popcorn. So generally it's just that. It's just drink more liquids. I drink a lot of these sparkling waters because they're super cheap and, I like them. I've got like a Brita water filter that I need to start using again and just drinking that, So, I mean, it's just really about just not eating. And then also if you can try to do walking, get like 10,000 steps a day. I'm terrible at that. I've got this, it's right over here too. I know we're supposed to talk about movies. I'm talking about like losing weight. Like I've got a Fitbit. You can actually see how dusty that is. Like I've got to charge it and use it again to get back on my pedometer. Anyway, that's what's been going on with that. But I would just say, yeah, just, after 5 p.m., just don't eat or whatever works for you. A 16-hour, 14-hour fast. I'm a diabetic, so I want to do like a 72-hour fast, but that could actually kill me, as I've been finding out. So if I put my body into ketosis, like it could actually physically harm me as a diabetic. And so I need to get my blood sugar regulated. I need to get my A1C levels down really low. And then I can make an attempt at a 24-hour and then maybe a 48-hour and then hopefully a 72-hour at one point in time. That's a lofty goal. But like, I love eating, but I also at the same time simultaneously hate it. So I wouldn't recommend it. So there we go on that one there. And then also HBARD's here, $2. Jarbo Damas. All right. So why don't we jump into But Carlos here, but Jarbo, Doomcock is a hero. Doomcock is the bestest ever. No, not at all. Not at all. Off topic here from Geeks here. Wish Disney didn't cancel DuckTales 2017. We need more Darkwing. Aren't they doing that as a show? Aren't they giving it a show? And I agree with you, because hearing Jim Cummings back as Darkwing Duck as Launchpad, hits the bobblehead and just goes, let's get dangerous. I was in geek heaven. Love that show. And then Ozzy here with a great point. The Incredible Hulk is the most underrated MCU movie. It really is. It really is. Okay, let me just kind of get ahead here. All right. Yeah, Music Man here says, don't do anything that will get you killed. Well, I mean, the goal is not to die. I haven't seen the latest I haven't finished the arc of The Mandalorian. I'm going to be around for a while. Hopefully. Plus, here's the thing, and this is just kind of a true story. So my father, when he was 43, had a quadruple bypass. All right. And so I was 18, almost 19 when that happened. And I'm turning 40 next year. So I'm only a couple years away from where my father was when he had a quadruple bypass. Now, he's still alive. He's very healthy. He's doing very well. Modern medicine has done much better. But one of the reasons why I quit smoking cigarettes 15 years ago this September, I'm hitting that big 1-5, had a lot to do with that whole situation, with my father and having the bypass and my grandmother having a couple heart attacks and a stroke in her own, not stroke, but she had her own bypass. And just general heart problems in my family, especially on my father's side, where I get most of what I believe my dominant genetics come from my father's side. And so right now I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, almost a 2-year-old. And I want to be around. I want to be around for my family. I want to be around for my daughters. I want to watch them grow up. So I got to start taking that stuff a lot more seriously. I got to start doing more things. And I honestly did neglect a lot of stuff for a long time. And that's not good. And so I'm hoping that this summer and into this year, once COVID dies down, I can get back to the gym. I think it is possible that I caught COVID. I really am thinking that now, because it's possible now that I have a respiratory problem as well. That is that came from getting it. That I was asymptomatic, I think, but something is going on now where I'm on an inhaler and I might have adult asthma. So this whole last year has fucked me up, right? So I kind of like. It fucked me up because I was too sedentary, so I got to get out of that space. So there we go. Anyway, there's all that stuff. All right, guys. Hey, Max, what's going on, man? How you doing? I sent you a link. Get your ass in here if you want. So let's go through a couple news stories. If you're coming in late to this, don't worry. I will definitely have a timestamp. But I wanted to try something a little bit different tonight. I wanted to try something where I kind of put everything together. Hold on here. Where's that at? No, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I wanted to try looking at the news and having a document, that this could be a thing. So why don't we talk about this new one here? Because this is as a gamer, as a longtime Halo fan. And I mean, like, I first played Halo at E3 2001 before all of you. That is a humble brag, but it's also something I really like talking about. It was a lot of fun. I've been waiting for a Halo show. I've been waiting for a show about Master Chief. I've been waiting. Long time. Neil Blomkamp was supposed to do the movie. Never happened. And now we're getting a TV show, but the showrunner has exited. And this is something that I just find to be on the fascinating side. So this is what, according to the Hollywood Reporter here, it says that Steve Kane and Kyle Killen were both attached to co-showrunners on the series. Killen departed the project ahead of the start of production as he felt he was unable to render full-time showrunner duties during the show shoot in Budapest. Kane then took over as lead showrunner. Now, you want a consistent person on set. You really want a consistent showrunner that's there. And look, Budapest, and that's a faraway place to film. And then being away from your family, and then during a pandemic, stuff starts to make a little bit of sense here. Now, production is currently going on with the series, and Kane is set to remain on board through the post-production process. So the co-showrunner, who was then promoted to showrunner, is only going to stick around until they finish season 1 of the show, and then he's out. And so if they decide to renew it for a second season, then they got to go get somebody else to bring on into it. And I'm sitting there going like, I mean, this already kind of spells, I don't want to sit there and do doom and gloom because I want this show to be good. I will get Paramount Plus for the Halo show, pretty much that, and like anything Beavis and Butthead or Paranormal Activity related, I'll get it. But I want this thing to be a thing. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to cancel it right off the bat. Not with Halo Infinite dropping, and with at the end of this year, and then this is supposed to be coming out in like early next year. So it does say here that a second season pickup is likely. given the high-profile nature of the underlying IP and the level of interest on the Viacom CBS's part. Look, they know that they need to make Paramount Plus a success, and having something that's as wildly loved as the Witcher, or as Halo, when Netflix has The Witcher, as well as diving into all the other things that they do, all the other gaming related content that they're putting together right now. That is definitely something that is going to be interesting. I totally get it. But at the same time, it's like, come on, guys. Don't screw over Halo fans. We've been fucked over enough in this department. Anyway, so it does say here that the live action adaptation has been in the works now for years. Based on the Juggernaut video game franchise, the series will follow an epic 26th century conflict between humanity and an alien threat known as the Covenant. Production had originally begun on a 9-episode first season late in 2019, but was forced to shut down due to the COVID pandemic. And now it will be on Paramount Plus in February 2021. And then, of course, here the showrunner, like I said, will exit the show once the work on it is over. So I don't even know I don't even know what's going on with that. But the way I look at it kind of is, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe there's problems. Again, like even the showrunner, the guy now was like, he wants to be with his family back in LA, and I totally get it. I totally understand that. This is why, and I'm saying this right now, this is why they need to start really utilizing the volume technology. Mandalorian's volume tech, all the stagecraft tech, is something that is ultimately going to heavily push a lot of this stuff through. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be able to cut down on costs for location shooting. You're going to not have to do as much on location stuff, and you'll be able to really, really, really kind of minimize what you need in order to get something that looks like it was a maximum level production. The Mandalorian is showing us how it's done. Halo would be perfect for something like the volume. And I'm hoping that, Paramount, CBS, Showtime, whoever the fuck is behind it realizes this and like gets in on the action. At least starts, putting it together, because this is going to take over Hollywood in the next couple of years. This is the next big craze. But I would be remiss if I didn't quickly talk here about my episode of Patio Commentary about why the Halo movie was originally canceled. It's a fascinating story about how Microsoft went in there with real, like, big dick energy. I'm talking huge, massive, like John Holmes, this, dick energy, and tried to make Hollywood bend to their will because they were Microsoft and they have a lot of money. And it kind of worked, and it kind of did it. The story, again, is fascinating about the fallout of that movie. I really enjoyed putting this episode together. You can find it on this channel, although I might go back to the other Patio Commentary channel. I've been a little bit iffy on that one, but it is definitely on this channel right now. Go ahead and check it out. But let's see what you guys have to say about this, because I'm very curious. All right, so Geeks here says, I just got Paramount Plus last week. Nice, hope it's pretty cool. Astro here says, I think Halo Infinite will be 2022. I don't disagree. I'm hearing like there's no, set release date yet. And that it might push to 2022. They're going to need to make it great right off the bat. What they showed at E3 was pretty fantastic. It got me excited. I have my Xbox One S. I have my Xbox Games Pass. I'm very much looking forward to diving in to Halo Infinite. Although, knowing me, I'm still going to buy the goddamn thing. Because if I get rid of Games Pass, I don't want to lose Halo. I love Halo. I love all the Halos. I'm a big Halo fan. So there's that. Okay. So, all right. All right. Did someone here mention the Jellystone trailer? Did I see someone talk? There was a Jellystone trailer that's going to go to HBO Max. I think at the end of next month. It looks pretty funny. All right. And then let me just see here. Okay. Shifty Gizm here says, an alien covenant, you say? I'm hoping they get Keith David when they bring in the Arbiter. You bring in the Arbiter, you bring in Keith David. I mean, like, fans lose their shit. Fans will lose their shit if the Arbiter is voiced by Keith David. That would be fantastic. H Bart's here, $5. Thank you so much, man. Says, have you seen the abandoned video game that might secretly be a Kojima game that the studio came out of nowhere and is getting big funding from Sony? Oh, you're talking about Abandoned. That looks like it's like PT, right? I've seen, the guy who runs it. put out this really weird video this morning saying that it's going to be delayed, but he called it an app like twice and then a game once. And it was very weird. And there are people out there that were even like assuming that this guy wasn't even real. Like that's the thing. People thought this guy wasn't even real. It was really funny. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm definitely curious to find out more, and we'll wait and see on this. Sony so far has been silent unless they've issued a statement, and I just don't know about it yet. Yeah, Jellystone here setting up the Hanna-Barbera universe. I will admit, I was pleasantly surprised with that trailer, and I'm looking forward to diving into that particular thing. Music Man here says, looking forward to the Halo show. Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Me too. Shiny here, man. $10, dude. Thank you so much. Says, thanks for the fascinating info. I thought you might find this humorous. There was a porno for Jeopardy a promo for Jeopardy a while ago where Trebek says Alexis, Texas as the answer. And the narrator says, will anyone get this? And that's, I mean, people on the internet, denizens of the internet will get Alexis, Texas. Other people out there may not get Alexis, Texas. They might not know her by name. They may know her by sight, sound, and potential smell, but they probably won't know her by name at all. But I would be like, I raise my hand right, hit that buzzer super quick, and I could imagine Alex Trebek is giving me that that disapproval, that disappointing nod, like, we kind of figured it would be you. You look like the kind of guy that would know Alexis Texas's entire career path. And I'm like, look, I'm not that into it. I just know that it exists. All right. And let's see here. Have I read He-Man versus Thundercats? No, I haven't. I need to read The War of the Bounty Hunters after Mando this week, or not Mando, but Bad Batch. My God, that episode was fantastic. All right. H Parts here, $5 says here, I saw this little unknown film called Zack Snyder's Justice League. You should watch it sometime. Pretty good indie film. Yeah. I mean, there's never been a $400 million independent film before, and I think you know what, man, Zack Snyder's the guy to pull it off. That's great. Yeah. And I did see that they are finally releasing it on 4K here. So it's like, I'm going to have my UK copy that you so graciously got from me, sir. And then I'm going to have definitely my American copy of it. Although they've got that trilogy set now, it's only going to be like, what is it? The trilogy for it is like, it's just the Blu-rays, No, they got the 4K, but it's sold out for right now. So there's that. All right. Why don't we get into the next story here? I got a couple to get through. So this next one is interesting because I don't know if you guys are fans of like if you guys are fans of like the Purge franchise or anything like that, but apparently Jason Blum has been talking about like the endless potential of it. And because the Forever Purge is listed as like the last Purge movie, right? The Forever Purge is listed as that one. Obviously the franchise is way too popular, way too profitable, and it's way too easy to make. Especially in the wake of the last 4 years, because even like they're talking like the political nature of like this movie and like even the first Purge, they've talked about the political side of that. And then it's, clear there's a TV show or there was like that one season of it. There's still a lot of money, a lot of stuff to be made when it comes to the Purge. But this is what's going on from this interview with Discussing Film, where the interviewer does ask the question. Now, with this being the fifth Purge movie, writer James DeMonico saying it's the last, you've gone now from the first Purge to the Forever Purge and building this universe. But do you ever think, well, I think we've just done it all, or do you firmly believe there can always be more? And of course, Bloom is a good producer, and he understands the very same way that Zack Snyder operates. Never say no to a paying customer. But he does say here, it depends on the franchise. Some franchises, I feel like you've gotten as many as you can. The Purge, the idea that crime is legal for a set amount of time, or in this case, generally legal, that every person would have another story. So there are an infinite amount of stories. So the Purge, I think, could continue. I mean, James has said this is the last movie, but I'm going to try to twist his arm and talk him into one more after this, at least. I think this could go on for a long time. There are a lot more movies that you could get out of the Purge. Look, and that is kind of the way you want to have it, right? So here's a reason why. It's a super easy franchise to make. All right, one night a year, 12 hours, all crime, including murder, is legal. Fuck it. Done. You have like 18, everyone's got an individual story to tell. There's going to be tons of different groups of people, all of those things. But I want to go back. There's a quote from Matt Reeves talking about the potential sequel to Cloverfield. This is all the way back in 2008. And he says that on the Brooklyn Bridge, we see some other guy with a video camera, right? Some other guy with the video camera. And that guy is out there, and he is, that's a story to be told. That's another story we could see. Same concept here. It's always going to be fascinating. Now, then, Discussing Film goes on to ask here, just one last thing. If you could think of any idea where to take another Purge movie, where would it be? Because no spoilers, but the Forever Purge ends in a very big and interesting way. Bloom says, I would like to take it internationally, but it's really up to James DeMonico. For an international version of The Purge, it would be really interesting to see it happen in other countries, see exactly what would happen. Maybe there's a worldwide Purge, who knows, but that would be kind of cool. Yeah, they're going to clearly go international with The Purge. Right, they're going to clearly go international because, look, Bloom understands that the franchise makes money. Let me just Google this here. How much has the Purge franchise made so far? So the Purge franchise is, it's a lot more than 119 million. Let me see here. All right, so according to the numbers.com, the Purge in total has brought in somewhere around $750 million worldwide for 4 movies, effectively, whose budgets were exceptionally low. So there, the first, I think it's like the first Purge had like a very small budget. What was hold on, the budget of the Purge? The Purge had a budget of $3 million, and it brought home total. Let's see, it brought home a grand total of like $150 million off a $3 million investment. There's a reason why you want this. DeBrando here says The Purge in China. That would be interesting. That would be very, very, very interesting. Have to wait and see on that one. Let's see here. Jason says, I want to see Jarbo, Paul, and Enosh collab on what? Is Paul here? Oh, okay. Okay, so let's see. The last Purge, aka the first Purge, was awful, according to Shifty Gizm. Like those movies, again, they are very much aimed for a very specific audience of people. So there's that to consider. So anyway, let's see. Shiny here, $2 super chat says, F YouTube and the 30%. Yeah, the 30% is terrible. It kills me. But then H-Barts here with the $10 super chat. Thank you, H-Barts. Says, I got to get the trilogy set because I love box sets. Children of the Corn is getting a big 4K set from Arrow, and The Princess Bride got a German 4K release. Wow. Now, The Princess Bride in 4K, I was just reading that that Legend, Ridley Scott's Legend, Arrow Films was trying to get that on 4K, and they are unable to do so. The best they're able to do is Blu-ray. And it's not that Universal is blocking them, and it's also not that Universal is doing anything to stop them. It's literally just like what they have available from the original prints to be able to do a 4K transfer. They're not able to, so apparently they're going to be able to do a nice Blu-ray edition of Legend, but potentially not a 4K, although I'm hoping somewhere down the road we get to see that, because look, Tim Curry as Satan in 4K, the stuff nightmares are made of, you guys. The stuff fucking nightmares are made of. And also, was it Mia Sara, right? It was Mia Sara was Tom Cruise's love interest in that movie. The movie was fucking weird, dude. I gotta watch it again. All right. Let's see. Simon here asking a question about the Bad Batch from last night. Did Omega experience her own Ripley number 8 moment last night? If so, where do you think Grogu plays in this? Okay, so by the Ripley number 8, he's referring to Alien Resurrection, where Ripley discovers her own clones and all the discarded ones. No, she didn't really have that because she's not Camoan, right? And the one we saw was a Camoan. So no, she didn't have that, but she's definitely getting that idea. And then it's possible that at this point in time, when we catch up with Grogu, they just haven't been able to capture Omega, because Omega could be somewhere else working with somebody else. And I don't want to go too far into it, but I wouldn't mind doing a spoiler discussion, because that episode, fuck, dude, this whole show has been fantastic. I love the Bad Batch. I love it. It's fantastic. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's go to the next story. Okay, so here's us talking about Quentin Tarantino. This is literally from tonight. He was on with Bill Maher live, and I happened to catch an update as I was prepping the episode, so this is why I wanted to talk about Quentin Tarantino. tells Bill Maher that he still plans to retire after his next film and has considered and dismissed a Reservoir Dogs reboot. Now, before I dive into this, as I go to the last couple stories, what I want to do is just drop the call-in link for afterwards. So we'll keep it on point. If you guys want to come on in and talk about what we're talking about tonight and everything like that, we'll definitely get lined up, and we'll get to that here in a minute. So this is what we know from the article here. It says, in an appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, Tarantino reiterated his plan to retire after his next film, noting that he has considered making his swan song a reboot of Reservoir Dogs, which he won't ever do. Like, why would he reboot his own movie? No. I mean, clearly it's Tarantino taking the piss out of the situation. But anyway, Bill Maher questioned the 58-year-old filmmaker's intent to quit when he was still in his prime, observing that experience can often enhance creativity. He cited Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's debut film, and observed that the director would perhaps make a superior version of it from his current perspective. Saying here, that's kind of a capture in a moment kind of thing, or capture time in a moment kind of thing, Tarantino said. Though he conceded having thought about remaking Reservoir Dogs as his final film, I won't do it, internet, he cracked, but I'd consider it. If Tarantino were to do a remake of a Reservoir Dogs, I mean, like, for one, the internet would lose their shit. Let's be fair. Okay, let's be fair. If because you're never going to be able to recapture that cast, right? Are you going to bring back Harvey Keitel? Are you going to bring back, Steve Buscemi and Michael Madsen and Tim Roth? Who is it? Chris Penn, right? Chris Penn is dead. He passed away a number of years ago, unfortunately. The older guy in the movie, whose name I forget, I know he's definitely dead. So are you going to be able to actually bring those characters in and actually have those kind of stories? Are they going to get new actors? Would Harvey Keitel's character, was it? No, Mr. Pink, because clearly DiCaprio would be Mr. Pink, right? So, would Tarantino reprise his role as Mr. Brown? I mean, like, who'd be Mr. Black? Who'd be Mr. White? Who'd be Mr. Blonde? I mean, like, all of these things. I couldn't see it happening. Couldn't see it happening. Now, it does go on to say here that even as his, he displayed his one-time video clerk's acumen in making the point, Tarantino seemed to sincerely commit to the plan, saying, I know film history, and from here on in, filmmakers do not get better. He said, Don Siegel, if he had quit his career in 1979 when he did Escape from Alcatraz, what a final film, what a mic drop. But he dribbles away with two more other ones, he doesn't mean it. Now, I get what he's trying to say in regards to that. Like, do you want to go out on top as a filmmaker, as a creative? Like, how do you want to go out on top? And the thing is, it's like, you never want to stop telling stories. This is the thing with these directors. You never want to stop telling the stories. So why would you want to stop and do something like this? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's entirely ridiculous. I think he's going to make more movies. I think this is something he's been doing for a while. But anyway, here it goes on to talk about how Maher congratulated Tarantino for sending his round against that and other attacks, saying ideology is more important than art. Ideology trumps individual effort. Ideology trumps good. Ideology trumps entertainment. Now, then Tarantino talks about how there's artistic choice in waves. He says, just looking at the 40s, even though it was a wartime, that was also when you had film noir. Even with the Hays Code, you had these dark stories being told, which is very true. And so what he's trying to say here, and in the final little paragraph here kind of, I think, summarizes it. It says, after the void of the 1950s, one of the worst decades in Hollywood, the new Hollywood era kicking off in 1967 was an absolute positive response to the strictures that came before. Similarly, artistic expression is apt to prevail in the current climate, which he called basically the 80s Part 2. Noting that Maher's former ABC series Politically Incorrect was born as a reaction to the PC movement of the 1980s. So what Tarantino is effectively saying here, what Maher is even agreeing with him on, these guys are both, like, Maher's in his 60s, Tarantino's in his late 50s. They're boomers. They're talking about, about this new renaissance, essentially. And that, again, the pendulum kind of swings back. It kind of goes the other way. I remember being a teen in the 90s, and I was on a paintball league, if you could believe it. And I was 15, I'm on a paintball league, and there was the morning zoo, the Z100 morning zoo, had their funny man. And he was actually part of the league. And him and I got to know each other pretty well. And we were talking about PC culture. We were talking about, this is like 1997. And we're discussing like PC culture the same way we talk about the culture war now. Notice how, again, the pendulum has kind of come back 20, almost 20 years later or whatever, 20 years later. So we're talking about that back then. I was 15. I didn't really know anything. I only knew a little bit. I only knew what I saw on Politically Incorrect. I only knew what I saw with movies like PCU and some of the late night comedians and some of the other stuff you would see. But this guy was older than me and he had a better grasp on it. And he told me, I remember this, he goes, Matt, things are going to get worse before they get better. And I didn't really think much about it at the time, right? I didn't even think much about it at the time, but what dawned on me as I got older was like, it did, I don't know if it necessarily got worse, but it did get better about 6 years later when Comedy Central premiered a small little show you might have heard of called The Chappelle Show. Now, I think the cultural zeitgeist that has surrounded Chappelle Show and has kept it popular for 18 years now, and why we can still meme, was it Clarence Bigsby? Right off the bat, I can say that name, and anyone can quote a lot of what he said in that very first episode and how it resonated with our generation, with my generation, like Richard Pryor and those guys resonated with my parents. And we had that for a long time. And I remember being in college when that show was at its height of popularity. And I was talking about it with some students, other students who were black, and we're chit-chatting about the concept of like almost like how you could normalize everyone using the N-word in a non-pejorative fashion. And they were for it. They were absolutely for it back then. They were like, it would just be great to not have to deal with that stress. And whatever. And I think like the thing is, because they were saying it so often on Chappelle's Show, and they were normalizing it, like the whole Rick James, fuck yo couch, right? All that stuff was being said back then, and it was being popularized, and everyone was saying it, and it had no power anymore. But we've gone way back on that now. We've gone way beyond that now. The pendulum has gone so far back now that I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to get better. I don't know if anything is, I'm not trying to say, hey, let's everyone go out there and say the N-word. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, though, it's like the popularity of Chappelle's Show, at least in the younger demographic at that time, was in fact revolutionary, coming off of the PC aspect of the 90s. So here's my question. If that went away and we're getting back into this kind of like shadow phase of like the SJWs and all that kind of crap, all the woke crowd, which look, I'm not a woke person, but I definitely empathize with a lot of what they're trying to do. So it's like, it's kind of a weird place to be, but I wonder what's going to come next, because there's times I want to tell jokes and I'm like, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that. Cause I'm like, you gotta be careful. And again, it's not that I want to tell like exceptionally terrible jokes. It's not that at all, but it's like, I gauge, like stuff I can say, which is why I make a lot of dick and fart jokes, because I'm like, fuck, no one's going to get offended at a dick and fart joke. I can make a joke about a fucking money shot, just fucking squirt that right in my goddamn mouth. And people might laugh at it, but it's like, it's not going to be looked at as anything incredibly terrible. So there's that, like, that's where it's at. And I think Tarantino and Bill Maher, like, that's what they're trying to talk about here, bringing it back towards that whole thing, bringing it back towards that reality, the reality that never really existed. People like Sam Kinison and George Carlin and Richard Pryor, and they all kind of fought for that kind of open expression. But now everyone's kind of afraid of their own shadow. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I am too. And that's a sad reality. That's a sad reality. All right. Here, we'll get to the Marilyn Manson thing here in a second. Benson here with £2. Thank you, says, love Chappelle's Prince impressions. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd love Chappelle's. Sorry, Clayton Bigsby. That's what it was. I said Clarence. That's my bad. It's Clayton Bigsby. Yeah, I see. I got corrected. Patrick here says, it's overrated, that show. That's a bad take, sir. That's a bad take. That's a bad take. Okay. And then I just want to make sure. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Shrek is Daddy says, I still want that 4-hour Once Upon a Time in Hollywood cut on Netflix. Maybe you might get it. You might get it, man. You might get it. I hope you get it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, all right, here we go on that. All right, let's quickly dive in to no, I don't want my N-word pass back. I've never had the N-word pass. I've been busted saying that before as a joke. All right. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. All right. Like, it's not the point. The point is, it's like, it's all about humor and like what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable, and like where is that line drawn. And there's every 10, 15 years, there's a bit of a cultural revolution in regards to what is considered acceptable, what isn't considered acceptable. And then, of course, people who get offended at everything want to be able to say whatever they want to be able to say without ever actually, like living to their own principles. And that becomes a big problem. And that's politicized, all that stuff. And that's a big problem. Anyway, I know I don't want the N-word passed back. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk about Marilyn Manson, and then we'll get to the chats there. So I see people lined up. If you guys want to get on in, I'll drop the link one more time. We'll do some quick chats. I do see a very special guest of honor that I want to bring in as soon as we're done talking about Marilyn Manson potentially going to jail, or he is going to jail. So Marilyn Manson will now report to the authorities in LA on arrest warrant from a New Hampshire incident. The singer was accused of assaulting a videographer at a concert in 2019 and is charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of simple assault. I think this is the one where he like spit on somebody. I mean, hey, in a COVID year, all right, I gotta get that, right? Like in a COVID year, spitting on someone could be seen as attempted murder. Now it says here, Marilyn Manson will report to the Los Angeles Police Department on an active arrest warrant from a 2019 incident of an alleged assault in Guilford, New Hampshire. According to local news outlets, including WMUR9, Guilford Police Chief Anthony Bean Wait, his name is Burpee? Anthony Bean Burpee. Well, that just sounds like a good old I mean, Police Chief Burpee, can you please give us an update on the case? Well, it's a bit of a gas. A bit of a bubble in my tummy, but it's okay. I'm going to let you know what goes on. When I burp, you all know it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right. So Manson, whose real name is Brian Hugh Warner, has reached an agreement between New Hampshire officials and Manson's attorney to turn himself in. It is unclear when this will take place, but this is just breaking tonight as well. Manson, 52 years old, was accused of assaulting a videographer at a concert at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in August of 2019 and is charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of simple assault. If convicted, the singer could face a possible jail sentence and fine of up to $2,000. Now, again, a lot of people are running with this, right? Because we know about the accusations of sexual assault. We know about the accusations of sexual assault. And so this, I think this is Variety, as I pulled this from Variety. No, this might be from Hollywood Reporter. But anyway, they know what they're hinting at here. Like, an arrest warrant from a New Hampshire incident. All right. And everyone knows he's been accused of some stuff. And so I find it to be very fascinating that they're kind of doing that. But I mean, look, $2,000, just pay. Look, if anything, he'll pay the $2,000 and then just like go away. That's all he's going to do. He'll pay the fine, maybe a couple hours of community service or whatever. That's really about it. It ain't going to be much. But that's Marilyn Manson for you. That's I just feel like the thing's probably a lot smaller than people are going to make it out to be. Probably even myself. I will admit, I kind of jumped on it. I read it, but I was like in a hurry to get the episode put together because it's so hot. So I maybe just like, I thought it would be sexier than it was. My bad. But all right, here, let's take a quick look at some chat real quick here. TW says, that's what I thought the arrest was about. Exactly. All to talk about the sexual assault stuff. And this is what we find out. And okay, let's see here. Do I think nothing is off limits in comedy? I think very little is off limits in comedy. I think it's all about, like, I understand the concept of like, you don't want to punch down on people, like especially marginalized groups or underrepresented groups. You don't want to do that. The idea there is you want to kind of attack, the institution essentially. But there's also times when people need to be called out on their shit and they can't hide behind certain things. And that is something where it becomes a very surgical, precise event to do. So I don't think anything is like really off limits in comedy, but I think certain things need to be really heavily evaluated and a proper plan of attack needs to be utilized. Because look, proper social commentary in the right hands can be literally revolutionary. George Carlin proved this. Richard Pryor proved this. Dave Chappelle proved this. Social commentary that is just in the hands of a novice, is going to end up just bombing and setting everything back. If you want to change the system, you can't just come out and be super crass about it. It has to have a point. And even in all of Carlin's rage, the reason why we still hail him and praise him all these decades later is because there was a valid, salient point behind that rage. It wasn't just being angry for the sake of being angry. If he was like that, he'd be fucking Doomcock. Let's be fair. All right, so there's that. Thank you very much. Okay, as for the question, I saw asking about the Shang-Chi trailer. We talked about that last night. That looks awesome. I can't wait to see it. And okay, oh yeah, this is great. $5 from Simon here. Thank you, sir. Says, did you hear about the rumors back in the day that he played Kevin Savage's best friend in the Wonder Years? I did hear those rumors. My favorite one, though, was the one circulating around in the late 90s that he removed 2 of his lower ribs so he could literally suck his own dick. That's my favorite Marilyn Manson rumor. So there's like, you know, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that rumor from back in the day. But all right, guys, let's go to some calls. All right, we're gonna start off the night with a fan favorite here. We're gonna start off the night with a man you all know, the man you like, and a man who, as far as I can tell, has not finished writing his damn book yet.
How
Anthony
you doing,
Chabot. I'm okay, Anthony. I'm gonna ask you again.
Movies today.
You saw? Yeah, I saw you saw Luca, and you saw what's the other one you saw?
Batman Long Halloween Part 1.
How was that?
It was good. I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you.
Okay, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
But the thing is, Naya Rivera, it's her last performance.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no,
happening.
I know that. I definitely want to check that out.
And I saw it in the Heights.
Oh, how was that movie?
It was good. It got me teary-eyed.
Okay. I haven't seen that one yet. I know it's on HBO Max at the moment.
Good movie. I recommend you chance to check it out. While I was watching Batman Long Halloween, we have a guest. We had a little girl named Sophia.
Nice. Friend of the family?
Friend of the family. That my mom
Very
knows
cool.
way back in Kids Bay.
Okay, cool, man, cool. So,
Yeah.
what are you? So I think you've been here for most of the show. What are your thoughts on what I've been talking about? Anything that you want to comment on?
Quentin Tarantino. I don't think he's not doing Reservoir Dogs reboot.
No, probably not. He's probably not.
I got the tape at storage.
Nice.
Yeah, I just store. I fought for $5.
Very
when it was
cool.
back in Ridgewood, I was living in Glendale. In like 5 blocks, there used to be a video store called Capitol Video.
Nice, Very cool. When I was working at the theater in LA that this channel is named after, we used to show cult movies on Saturday night, like Reservoir Dogs, like Pulp Fiction. And so my job on Friday night was to watch the movie in order to be able to make sure everything was okay. And so I would call my friends and I would invite my friends over, and we would hang out in the theater after hours and we'd watch like these old famous cult movies for absolutely
Nice.
free.
I used to work at Regal for 5 years. I touched base on that. I told you the story. I worked for Regal for 5 years.
Yeah, you did.
It was a good run. It was a good run and everything. I used to go. I used to work. Yesterday, 2 weeks ago was my 16 years working at Regal.
Okay. I mean, are you going to try to go back and get a job there? I mean, because they're probably going to be looking for people.
Well, unfortunately, no. All
right. Well, I
Like
understand.
Like I said, Regal ain't hiring old people. They got fired.
You're not old, Anthony. You're not old. I mean, like, you'll do the job.
It's just new management.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. I get you. I know a bunch of ageist motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you want? You're not in high school. What do you want? Do you want dental? You want healthcare? You want a 401k?
I enjoyed working at Regal. I used to see free movies for 5 years and everything. I used to have a job coach checking in on me. It used to be fun. I used to take the bus from Forest Hills back to Glendale. I used to live. It was a fun time.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, you should definitely potentially look into that again, because I think that might be something you want to get back into.
I'm thinking about it.
And it would help you get your script done, get your book written, and get that in the hands of Lloyd Kaufman, which is what you want to do.
Well, Lloyd Kaufman doesn't have time left on this earth.
Well, don't think like that. Everyone's got time.
It's just that Troman's been very busy right now.
Well, I get that, dude. I get that. All I'm saying is don't give up hope. Keep going, all right?
I'm not. And yes, today was a very special day for me. 17 years ago. What is it, 16? 17. 16 years ago, I left. 17 years ago, I left France.
Yeah, you talked about. Yeah, you definitely talked about that last night. Where
5 years.
you,
I was with the school for 5 years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I miss my friends.
I mean, yeah, anniversaries will make you kind of like long for the past. I totally get that.
But I miss this girl named Olinda Pineda. Olinda Pineda used to be a Spanish girl. She was in regular ed, and she was gorgeous, And she's married, and unfortunately she's married, and she's married, and she lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
And my worker's coming in Thursday. His mom was not sick. His phone was not working.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good, man. So, all right. Well, hey, I'm gonna.
I have to take a PVD shot Thursday.
I'm sorry. What is that?
A PVD, like a shot, a tetanus shot.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I wish you luck on that, Anthony. I'm gonna let you go, buddy. All right. Thanks you very much, Anthony, for coming on. Didn't appreciate that one. All right. Oh man. Okay. So, the next person I want to bring in here has been a very generous supporter of the channel. I want to make sure that we can feature him because I've been trying to kind of like, sync it all up. But anyway, good old Mr. H. Bartz. How you doing, man? Uh-oh. Are you there, buddy? I don't know if he's there. Are you there, man? All right, I'm going to move him to the back. I'm just going to PM him here real quick. Okay. So let's get into, while we wait for H-Bars to fix his mic, because he's got mic problems, which is unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. If you're coming in, H-Bars, through, try Google Chrome and see if that definitely helps. You're coming in from your phone. All right, let's get to Edgar. How's it going, man?
What's up, man?
Not too much. So,
not
what is
much, man. I just wanted to kind of.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of like respond to your whole opinion on Brentino or something. I think I'm saying his name. Brentino, who wants to retire from movies.
Yeah.
And I get what he's saying because he doesn't. I think, and this is my whole opinion of mine. I think he feels that he doesn't want to be like the guy where he was once great and then he crashed and burned and he never was the same ever since then. And like, for example, George Lucas couldn't capture the magic after the original trilogy. Another one.
Well. See, here's the thing with that though, man. Is I think Lucas did capture the magic with the prequel trilogy. It took time to get there. All right, it took time to get there because people had their expectations literally to unachievable levels. They had their expectations so high. The thing though is that the prequels have lived on for 20 years now, and we still talk about them.
Yeah, like years later, they're regarded as one of the most favorites out of them all. But the way to get to there is just really disappointing in a way. It makes him more like, wow, people start to appreciate him after the fact and not right out of the gate. Meanwhile, movies from blockbuster films like Marvel or Zack Snyder or even Spielberg get that respect right out of the gate. So I feel like it's just very disappointing. And another one.
Well, Tarantino gets respect out of the gate regardless. I mean, a Tarantino movie is like a literal event, is a Tarantino film. You know what I mean? Like the mythos surrounding him as a filmmaker for the past like nearly 30 years is so massive in certain circles that it's like, I mean, you go to
I think Godzilla just stepped on him.
What do you mean? What? Did I cut out?
Oh my God. Sorry guys, I think.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I think, wait, hold on.
I could be back now. I'm not seeing anything on my end.
You're back now. You're back now.
Okay. It's StreamYard. It didn't give me the notification. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But I'll just kind of just wrap it all up. But I'm just literally saying, like, I feel like he doesn't want to become that person where he doesn't get that magic anymore, or he doesn't want to lose that respect. That's just how I see it. I mean, maybe it's just how I kind of view movies now, where I'm like, the art form of big time directors have lost its value. Granted, there may be a few exceptions, but it's just like you don't see those big time directors. You don't see a director that's very well known besides a big time franchise or like Marvel or DC or Star Wars.
Well, I think, the thing is, though, it's like it's kind of like Anthony Mackie talking about those like movie stars. Directors aren't really they're not really putting butts in seats much anymore. Certain directors will, Wes Anderson, Edgar Wright, obviously, Tarantino, Spielberg, not so much. If Spielberg was doing Indiana Jones 5, then absolutely. Or if Spielberg was doing another Jurassic Park or something else that his name's attached to in regards to like being a massive event, or a massive franchise, people would show up for it. I think they tried that with Ready Player One. I think he did an amazing job on that movie. I love that movie.
I think that's going to be a really big player, and I think they're going to do a really good job on the sequels. But I mean, the facts are you just don't see the directors, and I feel like Tarantino sees that flaw in Hollywood. That's the main issue a lot of times in Hollywood.
Yeah, but that's also a self-limiting belief on his end. That's the whole thing. He's the one who put the 10 film and then I retire thing out there. And now he's coming up on his 10th film and he doesn't want to quit. You can tell he doesn't want to quit. All it is that he feels like he kind of either owes it to his fan base to go out on top. But the thing is, Ridley Scott's in his 70s and still making good movies. Spielberg is still in his 70s making good movies. Yeah. Tarantino's only 58. The dude is still young-ish, right? He can still make whatever he wants. All Tarantino has to do is like just focus on something that's smaller and more intimate, like The Hateful Eight or Reservoir Dogs, and not something that's as globetrotting as Kill Bill or Inglourious Bastards. He can do something small and bring that razor sharp wit. Look at Death Proof. Death Proof is a prime example of that.
Right, you're right. So, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're right about that.
So it's like
Ridley Scott. I mean, like, I'm sorry, he's the reason why Aliens where it's at right now.
Well, no, I'm not going to disagree with you on that front. Not at all. I mean, I have a lot of complaints with Prometheus and Covenant, and I'm hoping that
like Prometheus for me was fine. Covenant, it's like, oh my God, you literally did the opposite.
Sorry, I was wrong. Shiftygism corrected me here. Ridley Scott's really 83 years old. So there we go.
Oh, yeah. And he's supposedly going to do a movie of a remake film, a very classic film, a period piece called The Battle for Britain. It's a very much a World War II movie. And I don't think he's going to do it because his age. And
Well, look, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right? So 10 years ago, Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's younger brother, committed suicide in Los Angeles by throwing himself off a bridge. So if anything, Ridley Scott is, and this is just, again, my take on it, my opinion, is quite frankly that he's going to not stop working until literally the day he dies.
Yeah, and, I could believe that.
And and we never talk about Tony Scott's death, and we never talk about the impact it probably had on Ridley. Because you can tell that after that happened, he just started making movie after movie after movie, some good, some bad, but he just kept working and working and working and working. And I think that had to do with the fact that he just didn't want to deal. He just wanted to move on with what he loved to do in the memory of his brother.
Well, I agree, and we all have our grieving moments and that time. But I mean, that's all I wanted to respond. I mean, really, nothing's going on in Hollywood that I really am worried about too much. But just overall, I just wanted to kind of respond to where maybe I kind of see what Tarantino kind of goes at, and just want to point out that argument of he doesn't want to be a failure, or he doesn't want to go down as like once great, but then crashed and burned.
Yeah, I get that. But here's the thing, man, is if you're a filmmaker or a storyteller, that bug is always there. It's never going to go away.
No, dude, I know that.
It's kind of like, people have told me for years I should quit YouTube. And I'm not going to lie. I've done better this month by just doing nightly live streams than I had with AdSense in a long time. And I have fun streaming every night. There's nights I don't want to do it because I just want to chill out. And but I'm like, I should probably go and see what people are talking about and just kind of build it up, because you just got to keep doing it.
And just to tell you a little bit of advice, I'm like, it's sometimes worth it, because there's a lot of times where you just want to get escapism, and you just feel like, if you talk to a couple of people, maybe you'll get out of it. And I have done that with a lot of people myself, close friends of mine. But I mean, the way I see it is just like you do what's best for you, and that's all I have to say.
All right, man.
All right, see you later, man.
All right, thanks a lot for coming in. Have a good one, Edgar. Thank you very much. Real quick here, Benson, $2 super chat. Thank you. Says, like Kill Bill, watch Rurouni Kenshin on Netflix. Is that the original anime where like the chick bites out her tongue? And he's actually, I saw that one. If that's the one, there's this girl I went to high school with. After we graduated, we kind of hung out afterward. She was a cosplayer, big into anime. I had kind of a big crush on her. I don't think she knew, but she came over to my house a bunch, and she'd bring over like, she would bring over anime. We watched Kenshin, we watched Ranma 1/2, a few other movies here and there. So, and then she crushed my heart. She crushed my heart. And then maybe that's where my hatred of anime comes from, is I was a young man spurned by a girl that I liked, but we reconnected years later. She's married, a couple kids, living in Idaho, and we still get along really well. So anything can happen. All right, H Bart says Mike is working now. Let's hope, sir. Let's hope. H Barts, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Don't fucking move. Don't fucking move.
I had to go find an old microphone.
All right.
It's barely hanging on by a thread.
That's okay, man. You're here. That's all that matters. You're here and you're not on the Poindexter Lounge. That's what I care about. I win.
Finally, I'm home.
I win. Enosh can suck it.
Hey,
hashtag suck it, Enosh. Anyway, man, how's it going, dude? How you been?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm sweating my balls off here. Literally, it's fucking warm in this room.
Yeah,
I was like
in my room as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I tried to. I'm like, I'm gonna move my lighting around, and I'm gonna put like I have a sheet on an LED lamp over here, so like it gets better diffuser, and I have like my ring light and stuff. And I think the lighting looks pretty good. And I'm like, I'm gonna go in camera like when it's like 90 degrees outside, because I'm a fucking moron. That's how this operates. That's how this goes. So anyway.
Yeah, like my room is like all hot as well, because I got a PlayStation 5 running, a gaming computer.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that will do it to you. Yeah, PS5. Yeah, that thing's gonna be roaring like a jet engine.
Actually, it's quite quiet.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I've heard. Oh my God, hold on here. Geeks Studios says, owner of $3 theaters. Also, Enosh says, I'm here.
Enosh found his way here.
There we go. That's funny. Let's see here. Matt, he will now feature on the Poindexter Lounge at the special ceremony in his honor. There we go. There we go.
I don't know. He's got to come on here and announce it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, he might. It might happen. Real quick. Yeah. Benson here, $2 says 4 live action movies, Matt. So the Rurouni Kenshins are 4 live action films. Okay. I'll have to check that one out. Thank you for the recommendation. So, I know we've been trying to get you on here for a while, dude. I know we've been talking about wanting to do an After Dark trailer park on some good kung fu movies. And so we got to set that up still. We got to do that. We're going to have to do that on Twitch, because YouTube, man, my God.
Yeah, it's just my job right now. It's just been so all over the place.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand. Weekends. Yeah, you just give me like a couple days heads up, and I'll see what I can figure out. My weekends are pretty slammed, because I just do I get home around this time, and so then I could probably do something around this time. But let me know what your schedule is, and we'll figure it out, because I do want to do it. I've been watching lots of trailers on here this week. That's been a lot of fun, even with like the BS copyright stuff. So let me ask you this: what's your take on just the current state of Hollywood? You seem pretty up to date on everything.
I don't know what specifically on Hollywood.
I mean, just like these. I mean, do you think that the theaters are going to come back to where they ever were before? I mean, or are we all just kind of relegated to importing 4Ks from the UK?
I think the theaters will come back. Everyone loves the theater experience.
Yeah. Well, what's funny too is someone today was saying, I said on Twitter that like Fast and Furious movies are, they're very self-aware and everyone knows what they are. And the fans want more of it. And then this one guy's like, well, I've been reading the room and like no one wants it. I'm like, dude, you do realize that they're already projecting like 800 to 900 million for Fast 9, right? During a pandemic. And this movie is like, people are coming out in droves to see this movie because there's loyalty there. You got 20 years of loyalty in a fan base. This is why I think even Black Widow is gonna do really well.
Don't forget China.
Oh well, it's 300 million in China so far for Fast 9. So the Chinese are they are loving their fast cars.
Yeah, like with the movie going experience, like watching something like Infinity War Endgame is not the same at home as it was in the theater.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I actually, it was so funny because after I saw Endgame, I found a copy on the around places, and I watched it. I watched a cam copy of it to see if it would compare. Because I was doing journalistic research. That's my spin here. Yeah, it doesn't compare at all. Even when the movie came out, and I got the digital copy of the film, I sat down and I watched it, and it just didn't really compare. But I'll say this though. So just recently, I was rewatching Avatar. And on Disney Plus, and it's the same concept, right? It's the same idea. When you think something like Avatar, now it's still the highest grossing film of all time, would not be able to recapture that magic, right? Because it's not in 3D, it's not in IMAX, it's a totally different experience watching it at home. But you know what, man, the movie's still pretty good, and it holds up.
I'm not really a fan of Avatar.
You son of a bitch! You break my heart. You break my heart. No.
I just think that James Cameron focused too much on it, like when he can be doing other shit.
Well, I mean, Cameron's the big idea guy. Okay, Cameron has always been the big idea guy. I'll tell you what I want. All right, I don't want another Terminator movie. I mean, I'm not against another Terminator movie. I will always go and see them. Okay, like they've always got my money on opening weekend. That is never going to change. You could give me 98-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger in a walker going, "I'll be back," and I'd be like, I'm there, buddy. I'd always do it. But what I want is True Lies 2. But the thing is, though, True Lies 2 at this point is kind of impossible. It's been 30 years, roughly, and or almost over 25 years, definitely. 94. So yeah, it's been like 27 years. Schwarzenegger is nowhere near as young as he used to be, but I would love to see more from that world.
I want True Lies on Blu-ray or 4K, but it's up to James Cameron to release that.
Well, apparently there's copies overseas.
Overseas.
You can hunt down a copy of it apparently overseas. And like I've been, because the thing is like there's a website that I will lurk on sometimes to see things, and one night I'm looking around this one website, and I come across a 1080p version of True Lies, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that it's that. There's no way that there's going to be a 1080p version of True Lies, right? And the thing is that it aired on cable. It aired on, I think, Stars, and one of the outlets. Maybe it was HBO, maybe it was whatever, but they did an upres. There's an upres version of it, and it looks really good. It looks pretty fantastic. And I'm like, so this exists. Where the hell, when is this movie going to finally come out on Blu-ray so I can have a copy of it, legitimately purchase it, and then give me the 4K that I can go back and rewatch this movie on, re-release it in theaters. Give me something.
So what I'm wondering about the True Lies Blu-ray is if it's an actual Blu-ray or if it's just like one of those ones that they just put out by putting it in 1080.
I don't know. So I looked it up on eBay real quick. And this is what it says here. So True Lies 94 Blu-ray import, brand new, Spanish package, English audio. And the seller, Valhalla Group, you can't see it on the edge there, but it's 99.9% positive. And they've got, what do they have? They have a rating of 44,487. So they have shipped a lot of stuff.
I'm wondering if this is the one that James Cameron had worked on. Like, I know he said that it was completed for Blu-ray and 4K, but it's just never been released.
Why wouldn't they do that though? Is it because like it can't be because of Avatar, man? It can't. I mean, like that can't be because of Avatar. I mean, like, is Titanic on fucking Blu-ray?
Titanic's on Blu-ray. I got it downstairs in my basement.
Okay, is it in 4K?
It's not on 4K yet. Sadly.
Okay. Yeah, it's on Blu-ray. I can buy it on Amazon right now for like $12. I'm good. What the fuck is in my Amazon card? Oh, my girlfriend logged in. I'm all like, what the hell? I'm looking at I log into Amazon. It's like, you have 5 things. Like, what the fuck? And then I see, my girlfriend logged in. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just want there to be. I love True Lies. It's one of my favorite movies. It's my favorite Cameron film. Now Javi here says that looks like the HD DVD.
I never
And,
owned an HD DVD.
Oh, I did. You know what? This is the thing. I bought. So it was I think it was like 2007, right? I think it was like 2007 Christmas. I took my bonus money from work, and I bought myself the Xbox 360 HD DVD add-on, right? And I'm like, yeah, HD DVD, motherfucker, I'm getting into this shit. And then, literally 2 weeks later, they announced that they were killing off the platform, that they were completely killing it. And I had just spent like $200 on this HD DVD player and a couple movies. And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, what am I going to do? But I'll tell you this, though. The collector part of me kind of kicked in, the collector brain. Because then HD DVDs plummeted in price. They plummeted in price. And I was able to find them for like $2. You know, I've got like Transformers on HD DVD. I think I've got, I know I've got V for Vendetta on HD DVD. I've got a bunch of the movies from back in that day on HD DVD. I think I've even got like a couple copies of Brokeback Mountain. Now, the reason why I have Brokeback Mountain.
A couple copies?
Yeah, let me explain. So, I'm not a big, the movie's okay. I'm not like the biggest fan, but my best friend really, really liked the movie. And so I was just going to like send him copies if I could find them of Brokeback Mountain on HD DVD and just keep sending him copies. So I found them for like $2 and I'm like, okay, I'll buy a couple copies of this. And then I kind of like forgot where they are. They're somewhere in storage right now. I got to go pull them out and eventually send him those copies of those movies, because just to fuck with them a little bit. But it's like, you know, if I still, even to this day, if I come across an HD DVD anywhere out in the wild, I'll generally tend to buy it. You know, I'll generally tend to pick it up because on that point in time, I just feel that it's going to be best for like, you know, just for collecting, right? I mean, and my computer, I have the DVD drive of my computer is it's an HD DVD Blu-ray reader writer combo that I bought back in like 2009. You know, so it's like so it plays HD DVDs on in my computer tower, so I can at least still watch them. So that's my thing.
Do HD DVDs look any different from an actual Blu-ray or no?
They're not as like, I mean, the Blu-rays have gotten significantly better. You know, I feel like HD DVDs were kind of like if I had to equate them, and this might just be a far off reach here, is that the HD DVDs were kind of like the VHS quality, whereas Blu-rays are kind of like beta. You know, where beta quality was better than VHS, but you got more out of VHS than you did beta. Never mind, it was cheaper to manufacture, and the porn industry backed VHS over beta. And so when the porn industry backed HD DVD, that's why I chose that format predominantly. Seriously. No, seriously. Because it was at the time, it was a valid theory. At the time, it was a valid theory. I'm thinking like, dude, everyone loves porn. All right. Like everyone loves porn, you know? I mean, so it's like people are going to pick it up. This is going to be the next thing. This is, you know, I bet wrong, because the internet clearly has porn for free. So why buy it? And then two, it was just like, you know, it was, the format died, and that sucks.
So do you think that 4K is the last physical format, or do we think we're gonna get like 8K?
Man, look, I don't want to think that 4K, that physical is ever going to truly die, but
I won't
it's
let
like,
it.
yeah, and it's not just you. There's a lot of people out there that won't let it. Like I do want to the financial cost of getting into the physical is something that like I'm willing to put the money in. At some point in time, I'm willing to put the money, because I look to see what's coming out. I look at these, like when I get an email update from Zavi, you know, like when they sent me the email update for what's it called, for fucking Battle Royale in 4K, I like legitimately like went and I bought it, right? I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get it. And then I'm like, it's 100 bones, man. I can't afford that right now. You know, like I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I gotta cancel it, but I'll come back to it eventually. But they just get the cooler releases. Like there was a Total Recall 4K that they put out in Germany that was fucking looking amazing.
That's why it's best to invest into a region-free player.
Yeah, I gotta get on that shit.
You'll
I was looking
find
at some
one
of
in
those
your PO
prices.
box someday.
So what you're telling me is hold on for dear life. If this was a crypto thing, hold and you'll get my back. I appreciate that. Now we do have a person here that I figure I should probably bring them in for the conversation because it's going to get fun. I think there's going to be a little bit of rivalry happening, and I want you to. This is going to be like mommy and daddy. All right, this is going to be like mommy and daddy that are going to be like, come on, who's your favorite? Okay, that's what's going to probably happen. But don't listen to this person because he's full of lies. He'll never love you like I will. He'll never love you like I will. Okay, you guys might be in the same state. He might be able to come to your house and visit you personally. Never as much as me. Never as much as me.
Oh yeah, where's my Arby's, Matt?
God damn it. Do you know the line tonight was so long for that shit? Anyway, seriously, it was long.
I tried to order Arby's DoorDash earlier. They were like, we're not taking orders tonight.
Probably not. It's pretty bad all over the place. Anyway, let's bring in Enosh because the chat's like it's Enosh.
Enosh.
Hey, H-Barts!
How you doing?
Someday we'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. Just
Oh my
H-Barts and me and no Jarbo. Blah da dee da da dee da.
So this is the thing. This is what's gonna happen. He's gonna he's just randomly gonna show up at your door one night like Glenn Close in Fatal Fucking Attraction.
With a
Hey.
Kermit puppet.
Don't you love me?
I'm literally going to buy a Kermit puppet just for H-Barts. So that I can do like drops for H-Bart like on the channel. Like H-Barts has made more Kermit content on the Poindexter Lounge because of his influence than I ever suspected.
I'm the Walter Hamada of both universes.
There you go.
I'm
There
thinking
you
about rebooting both.
Oh, that's funny. But seriously though, it's cool to talk to you, man. It's cool to talk
Yeah,
to
it's
you.
nice to finally talk to you too.
Yeah, man. It's awesome.
Well, Enosh, thanks for coming by. Okay.
That's what I figured. Yeah, no, I was packing it up. I didn't do a stream tonight. I was going to do a stream, and I was on with Dawson and them, and we stayed talking in the back room. And I was like, I'm going to see if Matt's on. And then I saw that you were on, and I'm like, you brought H-Barts. H-Barts is there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was finally able to get some time to do this.
That's fantastic.
Well, yeah, because he told me last night he was going to be.
See.
Killed Matt.
I guess so. It's just you and me, H-Barts. I win.
Michiganders forever.
Heck yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to make it on because either I'm working weekends, I was sick a couple weeks ago, and then or I just fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I tell you what, working long hours and stuff, man. I've worked at jobs where I've worked, 7 days in a factory and it sucks, man. And just even doing this, man, trying to stay up late at night. Everybody thinks I'm on the West Coast. They're like, I thought you were in Michigan.
Oh my God.
Oh, and now there's
The
the
Jarboverse.
Jarboverse. It's Cat Marvo.
Yeah.
Which
No,
one's
I had
that?
to just refresh the page. StreamYard's been really iffy like all week, so
You missed it. I said we got rid of him. I win. Michiganders for life, baby.
So have either of you guys tested out your 4K copies?
I have not had the chance to yet. It's
Neither have I.
I've been trying to get because I got to hook up my Xbox One X and I got to I have to find the controller for it because I don't know where it went. Because what it is when I have kids, things just get moved. And I had put it out in the living room and it was in a drawer. And then my 3-year-old was like, mine. So I got to find it.
Justice is Gray wasn't included on the 4K.
I'm not. I mean, they're not going to do anything to give Zack fans what they want. I mean, they're not. They released it in the UK literally 4 or 5 months before it's going to come out in the States.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, it's probably because the HBO Max isn't over in the UK yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
but yeah, it's kind of crazy though that they would just excuse me, release the 4K and not the Blu-ray or anything, But
you know what that's probably indicative of is that the movie's probably doing well. It's probably it's because all the charts have shown it as doing well, so they're probably let's just delay it so people don't get it and then dip.
I have a friend over in the UK. They said that they had to get off a pay-per-view service to watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And he watched it, I think, 20 times because he kept posting about it every day.
Wow, that's awesome.
I don't think I've seen a movie that many times since like Pirates of the Caribbean in '03. So, but I did pick up because Amazon had their Prime Day, and I was looking through. I wanted to get the Jurassic Park five film 4K set for $30. I put it in my cart, and then I forgot to buy it. And then the next day, it was all gone. It was all sold out.
Oh,
But I did find the Blu-ray trilogy pack of Bad Boys. All 3 Bad Boys. It was like $15 or something like that.
Really?
So I haven't seen Bad Boys 3 yet. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can put that in and check it out.
I haven't seen any of those.
Bad Boys are good.
I haven't seen Bad Boys 2 or 3. I remember seeing the first one, and I loved the first one as a teenager, man.
Yeah.
And then I never saw 2.
2 is good. 2 is good. 2 is kind of like, so think of it like this, right? So in Michael Bay's filmography, you've got like Bad Boys 2 in 2003, The Island in 2005, and then Transformers in 2007. If you were to watch Bad Boys 2 and then go watch Transformers, you will see literally, and then even the first Bad Boys and The Rock, Michael Bay rips off his own shots entirely for the first Transformers movie. Like all the Bayism shots that we know of like the people standing and like the camera panning around them like in slow motion or whatever, started off in Bad Boys. The scene in Transformers when Sam Witwicky, like he smashes the flares along on the wall. And it's like a slow-mo shot. That's Nick Cage from the ending of the Rock.
Yeah, it is.
Same exact shot. So there's also another shot in Bad Boys 2 when like it's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and they're on like other side of a door and the camera just pans around the room. So you get to see this like circular, you get to see all the action, but it's on this like rail, right? And they did the exact same shot in the climax of Transformers when it was like Anthony Anderson and like that really hot blonde chick, and they were trying to like get away from like the weird little transformer that came out of the CD player.
Yeah.
And like so the camera is just going around this room. It's the exact same shot. He literally just in Transformers, he ripped off every single like major shot he'd ever done. But the thing is, it works. It works. I love Transformers. Yeah. I love Transformers. As that first one is still, I love it. But it's all been, Michael Bay is very much going to take his own work and be derivative with it.
The one thing I can give Michael Bay credit for is you can actually hear his movies, unlike Nolan.
Yeah, but you don't get the snappy dialogue, right? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Oh, I hate Bane in that movie.
How could I? At first, I hated Bane. I've grown to like Bane.
You were merely born in it, what?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this.
I was sitting there the whole time and unable to breathe through this apparatus, Mr. Wayne.
Like, I love Tenet, but I couldn't hear any.
I haven't seen it yet because of that.
It's like sitting through a whole movie like, what? What did he say? What?
Like, I haven't watched it yet. See, for me, with Christopher Nolan, what pissed me off was like the ending of Inception. Like I thought like the first like 80% of Inception was just brilliant beyond belief. You know what I mean? Like utterly captivating from start to, it was just dope. And then all of a sudden you get towards like, they go into that whatever fucking wormhole thing. And then it's like, now you find out he's his daughter's ghost. And I'm like, when did we go into a Tom Arnold movie? Like I'm my own grandpa sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm like, now you're going into like Kubrick era. And it's like, dude, like, no, you were doing really well. And then you could tell that Jonathan Nolan's influence has not really been there since, like, I think The Dark Knight.
Like, have you gone back and watched something like Batman Begins? Like, the fucking fight scenes are awfully, like, shot.
Oh, really? It's been a while since I've seen it.
You can't see anything.
I got to go back and watch that trilogy. Last time I watched that trilogy was, like, probably around 2013, 14 with my kids when I introduced them.
It's not so much bad during the Shadow stuff. It's more so bad when he's actually Batman towards the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I could see that probably because that costume in the first movie there is very. I mean, because they even address it, right? I mean, that it's hard for him to move in it, and and everything looks kind of clunky. So,
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, even in the Dark Knight, it was like a very kind of the costume didn't look like. That's the thing with Batfleck. The costume looked like it flowed, like it was part of him. And so as much as I love the movies, and I mean, even The Dark Knight Rises is not my favorite by a long shot.
No,
but Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are like, a perfect duopoly, right? Like a duology, whatever you want to call it. It's just keep it as that. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot that's, Nolan he gets a lot of credit, like I haven't even seen Dunkirk. Because it just didn't look interesting to me. I'm like, oh, it's Nolan doing World War II movie? And then it's like, yes, I'm doing old men with boats.
Everyone said it was better than Saving Private Ryan, but I didn't think it was.
What? Dude, I was okay. So I was
It was
16
very
years old.
average.
I was 16 years old working my very first summer at a movie theater. It was Act 3 in Tigard, Oregon. We got Saving Private Ryan. I was there first day, first showing that Friday. We that movie was long. We sat there. We had, how it is when the movie's over and you have all the ushers waiting outside. We were waiting outside to see what people were saying about the movie. No one said a word walking out of Saving Private Ryan. No one.
Yeah.
And we all looked at each other like, wait, no one's saying anything. Like, does the movie suck? And then like the next showing, we all kind of snuck in and watched like the opening battle scene. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, no, I don't think Dunkirk is going to be better. Nothing at this point is in regards to World War II stuff outside of maybe Band of Brothers has come close to touching upon Saving Private Ryan. And even that was a Spielberg production.
I would love to see Come and See in an American theater. It's a Polish Soviet film.
Okay.
70s or 80s. But it's a movie where the director specifically made war like a horror, because he said that war should not be glorified.
Yeah.
So it's got like a lot more horror elements to it.
Okay.
And I think there's actual Holocaust footage in it. I'm not sure.
That's a bit, you're playing with fire on that one.
It's a
right.
It just got released on Criterion like a couple months ago.
Okay. I'll have to check that one out. What's one I saw? You ever see The Gray Zone with Harvey Keitel? It was about concentration camp. It had like David Arquette in it and like Harvey Keitel, and we watched it in like one of my film classes. That was a pretty fucked up movie.
Every time I think of David Arquette, I just think of WCW.
Oh, ready to rumble?
Well, he was WCW champion, man.
I may have only been like 1 year old when that happened, but
Yeah.
I still remember.
I don't watch wrestling.
Well, during that whole time, his promo for the movie and everything, he was involved in like different matches and stuff. And they've taken a lot of flack for it since, but it's like heralded as like one of those moments that probably shouldn't have happened, but they made David Arquette WCW champion. And
I'd still say that era WCW is better than current WWE.
no, dude. You will get no argument from me whatsoever. Anything is pretty much better. Me throwing my toys together around like in the room, like I guess each other is better.
Before I came on here, I was just playing WWE 2K19 because I don't play 2K20. Was that game's broken?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't follow wrestling, so I have no idea.
Matt, did you ever have like a wrestling moment
Yes.
like in your life?
Yeah, I did. I really liked, as far as video games go, WCW versus NWO World Tour on the 64. I could TKO a person in 17 seconds. That was my record in that game. I could TKO a person in 17 seconds. I knew I played that game so much as a kid, and I watched a little bit. I was never like fully into it. I enjoy the sport of it. I enjoy the theatrics of it, but like some of those plot lines have just gotten to be so ridiculous that it comes across like a male soap opera. And I'm like, I don't like those either, So I'll watch like some things here and there. And I respect the hustle of like McMahon. Never mind that he's like a terrible human.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like he's a god awful human, but like, he's taken that to like, he's taken it worldwide. And, as much as like we all gave Cena a ton of crap for like sucking up to China, Cena's been a brand ambassador. That's what he's chosen to do. And he wants to bring wrestling to more people. So it's like, as far as just watching it from the outside perspective, like, I can appreciate elements of it, but it's never captivated me. And I've also felt like the current wrestling games have just been terrible. Like I feel like they've just been like, I don't know. There's maybe a time in like the mid 2000s where it was just like everything looked like crap.
The last great one was 2K14.
Okay.
THQ worked on it before.
Oh yeah, THQ. Well, before they're gone. What are they now? They're owned by Koch Media,
They're
right?
THQ, aren't they Nordic?
Nordic, yeah, THQ Nordic. But then again, doesn't Koch Media own them?
I think so.
Yeah, they also own Deep Silver. So it's like there's a lot of they dabble.
Like for wrestling, like most of the time nowadays, I watch Japanese stuff, like older Japanese stuff, because it's actually treated more like a sport over there.
Did you ever see Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
Oh, dude,
MXC.
Dude, I love MXC. MXC is God. It's God for me, dude. We used to just have watch parties at my house for that show.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Here's the thing though, H-Barts, have you seen it? Have you ever seen MXC? Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
Never heard of it.
Okay. Do not Google it. let me tell you this real quick, and then I want to get your honest reaction. You are obviously a fan of Battle Royale, right?
I haven't watched it. That's why I bought it.
Okay. Well, okay. Damn it. So there's a guy in the movie, the principal, like in the movie, is an actor by the name of Takeshi Kitano. Okay. And so in Most Extreme Elimination Challenge is actually a comedic dubbing of Takeshi's Castle. Same actor as the host of that show. And so again, so it's watching him go and then do, like Takeshi's Castle, which is like the Japanese show, and then watching it all be like, made fun of here in the States on Spike TV, and then going and seeing Battle Royale. It's crazy. According to Astro Josh here, MXC is on 24/7 on Twitch.
Oh, wow.
Dude, do you have a link for that? Like, I just want to like have that. It's like there used to be a group of people on 4chan that would run a 24-hour a day to catch a Predator marathon on SyncTube. And you would literally log in like any time of the day, and you would find like 50, 60 people just hanging out watching Chris Hansen like tell dudes to take a seat. It was crazy.
Have you found the anti-shirt equation yet?
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to. Dude, I'm making that shirt. I told Tiffany about that today. Tiffany and I were in the car. She was laughing her butt off.
I look like such a retard at work because I was just laughing to death about that. Like, everyone was just looking at me like, what are you laughing about? I'm like, Gibby.
Check this out. I forgot I had this one. It's Takeshi Kitano.
I've heard of Emily.
Yeah, well, this is the guy. This is from Takeshi's Castle. Okay. So it's like he also does hardcore like Japanese action films and shit.
Oh wow.
And then doing that was insane.
Oh,
I forgot. I found this at the Dollar
Tree. Now I gotta go watch some MXC because.
Oh, dude, MXC is like
because we watched that so hard, dude. When in like 2003, like people would come over to our house. We would go to church. We had a whole group of people who would come over to our house after church, and we would spend all a Sunday afternoon just watching MXC. Like we'd get Chinese food and we just watch MXC like all afternoon, man. That show was so hilarious and so great. Oh my god.
Well, what's also is they also had a bunch of Mad TV. It was the one female voice. I forget who it was. She was on Mad TV season 1, and that's what she did after the fact.
Okay.
And then like you had Kenny Blankenship or whatever, or I'm trying to think because it was MXC. So I really liked MXC. I tried to emulate MXC a long time ago. So back in 2007. Xbox 360, Microsoft was running a competition for, they were trying to build out their original films, their original content on the Xbox Live platform. They were seeking comedy show submissions. So I did one. Ooh. We took Halo 3's multiplayer beta, and I recorded a match with 3 of my friends. My buddy Marky, who's the guy who stars in Search Of, and I sat down and we did like live kind of over the top MXC style commentary, but we were doing it and the intro and the outro had us as sock puppets. I'm not kidding you. This thing exists.
You showed that to me, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did. It is god awful. But here's the thing though. I wish I would have sent it. I never sent it because I lost we were shooting it till like 6 a.m. the day I had to send it out, and I just got burnt out on it because I lost a piece of audio. And I just, you know how it is sometimes, like something that's like the littlest thing falls apart and it just kills your entire momentum. And I hit that wall, and I said, fuck it. And like, no, I'm not going to care. I went to bed. So I never submitted it, but I finished it like a week later when I kind of came back to it. The one that won, it was $100,000. You were going to win $100,000. And the one that won was probably one of the stupidest shows, little web series I've ever seen. It was so dumb. And I'm like, if I would have submitted this, was it perfect? No, I could have brought in a team of writers, and we could have really done the commentary and made it work.
Yeah. And
I kicked myself in the ass because here's the thing, right around that same time, I was doing a podcast called Twisted Joystick with a friend of mine who lived in Seattle. And so he still lives there, but he, at his dojo, was one of the developers of Halo 3. And so that guy, him became friends, and that's what got us into the beta early, right? And so that's how I was able to get the footage. Well, we met up with that guy a few months later. I went up to Seattle for Penny Arcade Expo, and I had sent him this the Deathmatch 360 thing. Well, it turns out he liked it, and he sent it to like all the developers at Bungie to go, hey, check this out. Look what this guy did. And apparently the developers at Bungie really liked it. Like they enjoyed the concept of it. And so that's like, if I have regrets over a lot, like that's probably like my biggest like career one. I should have just finished it and sent it. And like, you know, cause honest to God, the other thing was so bad. It was so terrible. So yeah, that was, that's my Halo story.
I just posted the link to the MXC channel on Twitch in the private chat.
Okay.
So,
nice.
so if Andrew Casali asked MXC Enosh, I'm like, yeah, the thing we're talking about, most extreme elimination challenge.
Yeah, I would bring it up, but I don't.
No,
I
know.
I know.
You said you wanted it, so like if you wanted.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. I need to see if I can get the Twitch app on my TV because it's so. Amazon. Ever since Amazon bought Twitch, like they've made it very hard to like get the app on. Like I have it on my Roku TV because I downloaded it before they got rid of the app, so I can still like log in and use it, but I just can't download a new update for it. So
but H Barts, MXC it's hilarious. Basically, it's a Japanese game show, but it's not just a game show. It's like a they do all these challenges and stuff.
Things like Wipeout,
Ninja Warrior?
There are some parts that are. There's some parts, but it's not as serious. It's not as serious. Like it's you could tell like it's very Japanese driven, right? So it's got like weird challenges and stuff. So it's not as like how Ninja Warrior is very oh yeah, okay, there you go.
Here, I'll just bring it up here. So it's basically just like it's obstacle courses, you know, and so it's like as it's happening.
Previously donated. Do you know what that means?
The pool of stools contaminated?
No, technically, he has scored for both teams, and we are all tied up. Coming up, surfboards from hell.
Did you guys ever watch the old Japanese Ninja Warrior?
No.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
So yeah,
that version.
This is essentially.
But these guys dub all this stuff over, and there's like
Vic,
jokes.
Tell us about your days as a drunk.
Yeah, look at how young Takeshi looks.
I mean, so much happened back there. Let's see.
Yeah, shorten it.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I wasn't thinking very clearly. That's one thing.
Did you used to stumble around and hit your head and stuff?
Oh, yes, indeed. I've fallen off many a bar stool there.
Did you ever get fired from a job?
No, fortunately, I was an airline pilot back then, so nobody noticed.
What do you miss more, booze or flying?
Oh, to tell you the truth, Ken, I don't really remember either one. Anyways, let's go.
So yeah, I don't want to watch a bunch of it. Like, I'll end up like saying let's just so and like watch episodes of that because that's great.
To answer Andrew Casali in the background, no, because he says so it's Wipeout. No, it's not Wipeout. There are some obstacle courses that might resemble something that you would think you would see on Wipeout, but it's not that. Like they literally have one where they shoot a like a soccer ball 100 feet up in the air. And the person has to run through mud, like thick mud, and try to catch the thing. And then they have one obstacle course. Remember the stones? God, man, like I just wonder like how people don't die doing that stuff because these float. It was called sinkers and floaters. It was like water, but like they would have some stones that you could run across and some stones that just sunk right away. People just come running through and just
it's so funny because they get hurt.
So bad.
But it's just the whole thing is a gag, dude. It's great. Like that's something. I'll tell you what. You know what we should do because it's on Twitch, so we should be able to stream it. On Twitch. We got to do a night on Twitch. Like I wanted to start doing Twitch watch parties because of Amazon Prime, but like just hang out and like I don't know, grab a couple beers and like just hang out and watch MXC for a couple hours. Because like I'm
totally down.
I love MXC. It's so funny. So yeah. So and Atros Josh here says it's look up only MXC. Not OnlyFans, only MXC on Twitter and on Twitch. You'll be able to see that. So anyway, let me just get to a couple of super chats here because I missed a couple. Javi here says Japanese shows are very advanced. Yeah, super advanced. Absolutely, 100% advanced. But no, thank you for that one. And then Benson here says Justice League was in the UK on the Now TV with the 7-day free trial. The release is to try to recoup some money from the completed trilogy. Sales tanked after week 1. Well, I mean, I get that. I understand that. And I mean, people will want physical media as it is anyway. You know, like I want physical media. So I think, you know, it's the way they handle the rollout. Yeah, I feel bad for certain countries, but you should be able to get it eventually. So thank you very much for that one. And then just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else here. Okay. Oh yeah, no, that you already asked for that one. Okay, cool. So we do have more people in the back. I'm just gonna bring people in for a little bit, and we can just all have a chit chat. I mean, plus this is just a lot of fun, but I don't want to exclude anybody because we've been talking for like a long time. So let's bring in Mr. Andrew Casali.
Oh, hey.
How you doing, Andrew?
Andrew?
We've got
everyone.
TW.
We meet again.
I know. I just saw you. I just saw.
Oh, you sound like those evil people going like this. Oh, we meet again.
Are you holding a cat right now, TW?
No.
Why aren't you playing
No.
with some pussy? That's my question, sir. It's
Oh,
Friday
Batman's
night.
Job.
He's not Batman. That's why.
That'd be eating the pussy.
Well, you
You
know
do
what?
like
If it's gonna sit, if it's gonna sit in my lap, if I'm gonna hold it, I'm gonna have some. I'm here at the. I'm over here.
You're here on my channel
That's
now.
right.
Where
If I'm gonna
literally,
hold it, if I'm holding it, I'm eating it.
there
So,
you go. There you go. All right, and then we also got Jess here, and we've got Javi. All right, we got a full lineup
All
of
right,
people.
we got a party
Oh,
here.
wow.
There's a big party of people here.
Gonna party.
So I mean, like I was like, I'm just gonna do one at a time, and then you know what? It's Friday night, so it's all good.
This is what happens in the Jarboverse.
And that's cool. I mean, this is the thing I love. I pay, I pay for StreamYard. I like using StreamYard. I think it's when it works well. Plus, it's a hangout thing. So, all right, guys, been hanging in the back. What are your thoughts on just anything we've touched upon tonight? I know, broad question. That's what happens. Here.
No, anyone else wants to go first? I've got a little itemized list, and we can kind of go.
TW so organized.
He does. He is. We talk after the show sometimes if he comes on late,
I bet you have
and then
like a bulletin board
he has like a list. He's like, yeah. So here's like the list of things that we didn't talk about. We'll talk.
I'm gonna
about
have
it
to
real
get
quick.
a charger, so give me a sec.
Okay. Real quick, I gotta ask you, TW, Bad Batch, holy shit or holy shit?
Okay, good. Yeah, that was
Right? Right?
Oh,
Oh
Yes,
my
yes,
god,
it's so
that
good.
show.
to think
So
about,
good.
and like I
Bad
just
show,
wanna know what-
everyone. Bad show.
I just want to know what they were doing on the other planet, like the planet in the Alito system. I want to know, was that like Kaminoans in the?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was somebody else. Is who I thought it was at first, like the first prototypes.
Yep. So did I at first. Well, Tiffany. I love my wife, Matt. I tell you what, No, I turned to her, because we're sitting there watching Bad Batch tonight. And when it first comes up and Omega comes face to face with whoever that is, and they're like, and the face come up, I didn't see the face at first. And she's like, hey, was that one of the species from Neum Nub? And I'm like, what? And so we go back and like I rewind it and stuff, and I go back and she's like, yeah, look, it looks like Neum Nub. And I'm like, okay. And so like we're talking about it, and then I realized something, and I looked at her and I went, can I just stop and say, I have never been more sexually attracted to you than I am right now. The fact that you, my wife, just stopped this thing and said, does that look like Neum Nub? I love you. And I definitely made the right decision. And I may have been a little bit more descriptive. But I will just say this. She was very happy with the fact that I was happy. So
That's pretty good. I'll tell you what, I didn't have that reaction because my girlfriend was in bed and she would not know any of that. Which is fine, which is absolutely fine. Because we're plotting our next vacation. So it's like now that's kind of in full plan mode for that. But we're doing a cruise to Alaska next year. We booked the cruise to Alaska, and so it's
be able to see Russia from your backyard.
Yeah, I've done this cruise before. We did it 5 years ago. It's a great cruise. It's just kind of a way to kind of introduce our kids to cruising, and by the time we get in, it's going to be great. Plus, Alaska in the summer is like, it's a great way to decompress. I love Alaska, but
cold as hell.
No, it's not. It's not. The first town you go to is a town called Skagway. And it's where the gold rush kind of essentially located in Alaska, and it's an arid climate. We were there in June of 2016, and literally it was nicer weather than Portland.
Do you ever go near Chicken?
A Chicken, Alaska?
Chicken, Alaska, dude. So I did an online radio show for 5 years, and we found out about Chicken, Alaska. The population is 3. and it looks like a set is what it looks like, because it looks like a set from an old west thing, because it's literally got like 3 buildings there. It has no bathrooms in there, so it's got like a mail post, it's got a bar, and it's got like an apothecary, and everybody I guess in that area lives in trailers, right? Because people came out there for the gold rush, and there's still people who do some mining and stuff like that, but everybody lives in trailers just outside the town. So the population is 3 people, and it's the 3 people who live because the same people run all 3.
According to the 2019 census, it's now 12 people.
Is it really? Okay.
I was gonna say, for those 3 people, were their names Buck and Buck, like.
But yeah, we adopted that. We had some fun with that whole thing. We called Chicken Alaska the official.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, there's the thing is like Skagway only had like a few people, I think like 70 people or whatever, but it's during the tourist season. It's I mean, obviously they bring people in. We did a bordello walking tour, so they like the one lady took us through the town and was like, well, that was a whorehouse, that's a whorehouse, that was a whorehouse. Here's where a hooker died, and then here let's go into a whorehouse and look at some of their old possessions.
Matt Jarbo walking through there singing "My Kind of Town." My kind of town.
Some guy pokes his head in the window. About my mom's house. It's just her house.
But I'll tell you this though, in Juneau, Alaska, because we went to Juneau the next day, we actually did gold pan mining.
Nice.
And gold panning is great. Gold panning is something I want to go do again, but it's like, I mean, you don't get a lot of gold, but it's just like the act of like taking out the bucket in the little pan and then like going out to a creek and then just like scooping it up and doing. I mean, it's so like, it was such a fun experience. The problem though is like, I think because of the pandemic, that particular excursion closed down, so we can't go do it again this time. But I mean, at the same time, like, there's not much else to do in Juneau, but I'll say Ketchikan was the 3rd city, and that's gorgeous. Like there's nothing quite like the beauty of Alaska. In Ketchikan, there are bald eagles and like just the tree. You would see little white heads in the trees, and there would be like hundreds of them, and they were all bald eagles.
Wow.
Just chilling. And they would all, you'd see them like flying and catching fish. And I mean, we're passing by glaciers, and I mean, it was like, it's just a wonderful thing. So we want to get into doing like the cruise stuff. As like kind of every couple years go out and like we want to do the Caribbean stuff and everything else. But Alaska, we can hit it from Seattle, which is right in our backyard. So it's a lot easier there. But anyway, Bad Batch just was pretty badass. I
really
thought it
enjoyed
was,
myself.
Yeah, I was very pleased with it. I had a smile on my face from beginning to end. I just loved what they were setting up and everything else.
I was both expecting and not expecting who hired the bounty hunters. I'm like, oh. Saw that coming and yet also didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I kind of saw that coming, at least with Cad's character.
Yeah.
And then with the other, I was like, I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then, but what was really amazing was the whole who is Alpha, which I think we all kind of knew, but having them say it out loud, and then now that just opens up so much clone lore, where you're like, oh my god, like where are they going to take this now?
I know. Well, is the beta gonna show up at some point?
No,
too scared to.
Because the alpha. Well, no, because there's no beta. It's alpha and omega.
Well, that's what I'm sorry. You're right.
Oh, who'd we lose? We lost Javi.
No,
okay, sorry, Javi. Okay.
No, you're right. Okay, so omega. I should say omega. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got alpha and omega. So does omega show up again later?
Well, see, that's the thing. So
we don't know.
We don't know yet what's going to happen with Omega's character.
I know. That's just kind of cool. And so now there's a sister.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, there's a sister, right? So it's interesting because that they've got this story planned out, right? So if we're seeing this now on Bad Batch, by the time we get to the end of the year in Book of Boba, right?
We gotta have Omega,
which it includes, what's her name?
Fennec,
right? So Fennec is in there. That just opens up a whole new world of.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing: is like, is Omega going to survive? Because we know that the Camoians, I can never pronounce it. Camoians.
I had the same problem earlier because I know it. It's in your head. But
it's hard to say.
Camononians or
but we know what they're trying to do. But the thing is like they're clearly not going to succeed. So where did she go?
They're a bunch of cloners.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
But the thing is also, it's like, but their motivation is fascinating, because their motivation is about using her for raw DNA to be able to continue whatever this phase 3 of the clones are, to solidify their whole thing with the Empire. And so clearly we know that doesn't work out. The Empire goes into conscription mode, but I mean, something's going to happen with those guys. I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Plus the action with Fennec and Cad.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God. What if Cad shows up in Book of Boba? I don't know how I'd feel about a live action Cad, but
I honestly,
well, that alien species was in New Hope in the cantina, so it could work.
Okay,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
I honestly have a feeling that they're going to go there.
I think so too. I think because here's the thing: Filoni is going to bring over his characters.
True.
You're
not wrong, Dark Beast.
Yeah, Filoni's gonna completely bring in his characters, and I think that's what people want. And it's going to be pretty great. I'm very happy with it. I see people bashing on that and bashing on Loki, and I'm like, are you guys even watching these shows?
Filoni universe, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually good.
Like Loki was great this week. I thought it was fantastic. Really? Yeah. See the thing. Okay, so the thing, Loki was lore. It was all lore. If you paid attention, like they're establishing. So it's like the deeper end of what Lamentus meant. Of what Lamentus was. So Lamentus ties into the Annihilation storyline, which also leads to Galactus. And then you also look at the last week's episode where Lady Loki dropped all those bombs, and it happened, by the way, on 616, on 616, and it showed us kind of the birth of the multiverse, right? Or what they're going to use as the multiverse. So obviously they're establishing things for Doctor Strange. They're establishing things for Spider-Man No Way Home. They're establishing the next phase to lead into whatever the next Infinity War is going to be, whatever the next setup is going to be. They're giving it to us now in 3 episodes of Loki. And I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing. I think it's great stuff.
You got a super chat there.
Oh, I did. Let's see here. All right, Enosh, we need another 3-hour hot tub time.
Can I say something? I was surprised when I saw you in the hot tub.
So I might have been in the hot tub tonight, but you want to hear a funny story? The next day I went to go get in the hot tub. Yeah, I went to go get in the hot tub, and I accidentally took the lid off weird. And you know how when you've got a collapsible thing, we're actually going to build it up now because it's got a collapsible side to it, and so the water had kind of gone down, and so I was taking off the lid myself, and I accidentally made the edge dip below the water line. And when I did, the water just came all out, and I'm just like, oh man, it flooded my entire thing. So we had to, we took it as a chance to clean it all out, redo the whole thing, but then it's got to heat back up. And so I haven't been out there. It's been raining here, man. It's been literally downpour.
It's going to be in the hundreds all weekend. So
see here it's been cool, because we were really hot, but then the last 2 days it's been nothing but just downpour and cold. And so I'd go out there in the hot tub in the cold, but it's not as much fun in the rain.
My area it's
What was that, H-Parts? What was that, H-Parts?
It's been dreary around here.
We haven't lost power. No, we lost internet for a minute, but we didn't lose power.
We lost power for 5 hours over here.
Oh, wow.
5 hours, wow.
My area is a little warmer, but we're still pretty much getting the rain cell from you guys.
Yeah, we had rain last week. It was cold and rainy, and then all of a sudden it's hey, you want some warmth, And it's no. I mean, even the local authorities here are just stay inside, drink water, be in air conditioning, and check on your loved ones that are older. We're not that we're going into lockdown or whatever over this, but they are literally trying to tell people just stay the hell inside. Yeah. Your bodies are not designed for heat like this. You're Washingtonians.
You'll turn into the Nazis and the underraters.
And Florida, you're kind of used to that kind of heat and humidity, but
Florida's crazy.
It's all crazy stuff. Everybody, real quick here. Worldwide Web Wizard $2 says Quentin Tarantino being gayer than the Gunt boy.
What?
I mean, no. Here's the thing: Tarantino people want to have around. The Gunt people are waiting for that inevitable, thing.
I don't know what that is.
It's not important.
Tarantino better not retire.
It's not gonna happen. But I'll tell you this though. Here's the thing. Enosh, did you happen to? I gotta ask you. Did you happen to see Doomcock's video today? Did you guys see my response to that?
I saw that you did one. Was this the one about
the Lucasfilm Civil War and Favreau one?
Yeah. And based on that article, so like if somebody writes an article that you like, you win. I guess that's how.
Yeah, I mean that article is all opinion. I mean, I get what I understood.
It's all opinion. I get what he's trying to say, but it's all opinion. Like there was no factual nothing in there.
Like, because here's the thing: is he says something along the lines of like they were leaking out the information through the Atlantic, and it's like the Atlantic wouldn't be the space to do that. They would do it in Deadline or Hollywood Reporter or Variety.
I caught. He did a video tonight, like on his channel, like as his regular, without all the stuff, and he had some guy on there with him, and they were trying to say that no, the Atlantic is the way that he would do this because of how they would do it. Like if you want to do it one way, you do the Hollywood Reporter. If you want to do it another way, you do it Variety. If you want to do it this way, you do it the Atlantic, and that's why they did it, and that's why it makes sense. But like it's all opinion piece, so none of it was
It was, thank you very much, Worldwide. It was, the idea there is that it was a coded message.
Yeah.
Right. And if anyone's good at coded messaging and dog whistling, it's Herr Commandant. All right.
The soul shaker.
You gotta be, because all those, all those, those guys who, with the insignias and everything.
Well, here's the funny thing.
I don't know if I want to say that word on your channel, but
yeah, no, it's fine. But the thing is, though, is that BitChute is actually looking to start getting away from hate speech.
Yes,
right?
I'm going to have to find a new place to take my hate speech.
Is that a Flash Gordon action figure?
No, it's Doomcock. Look at me. Look me in the eye. I'm Doomcock.
Oh, my God.
Oh, not Doomcock.
Where did Doomcock even come from?
Center of the earth.
Yeah,
I'm a mole man.
It's so weird. In my video today, I had the clip lined up from Jeremy, where he called out.
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, I have that on the.
I have that ready to go right here too. Yeah,
always now. It's my favorite clip.
Like is Doomcock trying to fire up his base so he can get everybody back?
Well, the thing is,
trying to save face.
Yeah, like the call out from Ryan Kennel and the fallout from the Fandom Menace definitely hurt him. There's no question about that. It definitely hurt him. Yeah, and as a result of that,
people doing it.
Well, yeah. So he had to suck up to them and kind of solve it. So the thing is, he knows no one believes him, but the thing is, his audience doesn't care because he gives them hope. That's what they want. They want hopium, right? Yep. So it's so he sells it to them in a way that is palatable because he'll say, because again, the audience always reiterates the same point. This is a rumor. It's not, take it with a grain of salt. It's but he keeps repeating the same thing.
And you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. It's like, and so one guy today was like, Doomcock is always right. And I'm like, right about what? He said nothing that's been correct. If it's the Rise of Skywalker leaks, I have to keep reading that came from Reddit. That wasn't you.
I saw that in your comments. I saw that.
Yeah. I was.
Joe Cronin called you
Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah, that was funny. I made a crack in there about white male rage because that's been on everyone's topics this week because of the military general. And it's like the reality of it is this: Doomcock is a white guy. Doomcock pushes for the culture war.
No.
He pushes.
Mask,
I've seen him. I've seen him with that wrestler mask on when he was in the car with Jeremy.
Looks like wrestling with Regret's alter ego in that video.
Well, what's really funny is someone else did a video about Doomcock and they brought up the K on that mask.
Yes.
Right. And he goes a couple times in that video, he's all like, well, I some people have said this. And I'm like, that was me. I said that, and then he mentioned the K and I'm like, that was me. I said that, I pointed that out. And I'm like, well, by all means, keep running with that because I think that's going to be funnier than hell. But yeah, all these guys are doing at this point is even Jeremy, he put out a video saying happy 1 year anniversary to Naughty Dog trying to take down my channel.
What?
Because it was over The Last of Us 2 leaks from last year. And it's come on, is it just that slow for you guys right now? Why aren't you making 80 videos about that Karen movie?
Oh
that looks terrible.
I want to watch it.
Now, see, is it supposed to be funny? Because I thought the trailer actually looked pretty good, but there are parts of it that you look at it and go, is it supposed to be that she looks that bad because Karens actually are that cringy? Or
well, I mean, it's obvious. It's obviously over the top, right? It's the whole point is that it's over the top. And Taryn Manning is actually a good actress. And so, but seeing her go like, you know, bad things happen when you don't comply, and I'm like,
oh, wow.
And she's like sitting there, you know, but like the idea of like her and her brother are kind of like running this community and like keeping out all the black people or brown people or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting point. Like the movie could have a very interesting social commentary it wants to make. Obviously, the trailer is heavily indicative of that, but whether or not it's going to have the same kind of bite like Get Out did, because Get Out, you could argue, was very culturally, you know, significant. Karen feels like a cheap knockoff of that.
Yeah, and people have even been comparing it to the Saturday Night Live skit that they did that was like kind of along the same lines.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's and so I'm gonna be very curious to see like. I'm gonna watch the movie because
heck yeah.
It's like when that movie Loquisha came out. Did you ever see the trailer for Loquisha?
Mm-mm.
So this blew up a couple years ago. It's a movie that is written and starring this white comedian guy, and the story is like he's a down on his luck bartender who gives out advice all the time, and he always gives out really great advice, but he's not able to get like a job on the radio being like a therapist, you know, being the advice guy. So he ends up answering an ad because they were looking for a black female. So he creates a character named Loquisha, and he gets the job. And so he has his producer and him are like, they have, you know, they block off the studio so no one can get on in, but the show blows up into something that's massive, and he ends up having to like juggle it all and, you know, it all, whatever. And the thing is like the movie, like I got what the trailer was going for. And it blew up real bad. It was going to go to theaters. It was going to go to theaters, like small theatrical run. Everyone attacked it. Amazon was like, we'll play it. And so Amazon put it up. It's right now on Amazon Prime. It's up on Amazon Prime. And so I sat there one afternoon and I watched it. And the movie, like, it's actually a relatively sweet film. Like the guy, he's very careful about walking certain lines. And you could tell the idea what he was trying to do there was like, you know, the story he was trying to tell. Obviously, it's like it's not the greatest film in the world. It's not the worst film I've ever seen either, but it's like one that, you know, came out kind of like and had that kind of visceral reaction. But it got a lot of eyeballs on it, and I don't quite know how it's done after the fact.
Have you seen the Candyman trailer?
Yeah. That looks interesting.
It looks like they're going like a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 kind of.
Yeah. It does because like I think I talked about this the other night. It looks like, you know. Instead of all the townspeople getting together and like burning Freddy Krueger alive for being a pedophile, it's all the police get together and they kill a guy because he's black. And that's like the same kind of energy that they're going for. And but it's very poignant, I think, considering at least today with what happened in the news today with Derek Chauvin getting 22 and a half years for the death of George Floyd.
Okay,
I'm not trying to bring up that combo as anything. I don't know what people's opinions on it are. I ain't looking to go down that path. But like, you know, those
that freaked me out. I want to bring it up.
The only bad thing is it looks like Tony Todd is probably not going to be in the movie that much.
Really?
Yeah, and it looks like Yahya Abdul-Mateen is going to become Candyman. Or like it looks like whatever happens like unleashes this demon and the spirit like takes him over is kind of the vibe I got from the trailer.
If you put it like that, of like it may feel like it's what I've seen in most films nowadays of like bringing back the guy just to pass it on to someone new like that. Well,
they did Candyman 2, which Tony Todd starred in. You know, that went straight to DVD.
The sequels are decanonized now, I think.
Well, I mean, at this point,
they just reboot it. They constantly reboot.
So it is, you know, yeah. I mean, and I understand that because, you know, the Clive Barker movie I like Candyman. I remember when I first saw it, the opening 5 minutes of that movie scared the shit out of me to the point of where I was too afraid to watch that movie until I had to do a midnight screening of it at my theater in LA. And so like, I literally called a friend. I'm like, dude, do you want to come watch Candyman with me? He's like, what, you're not going to watch it alone? I'm like, it's not that I can't watch it alone. It's just, this movie's always kind of been one that I've avoided because it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And it's like, I'm going to be sitting in this
I'm looking forward to it, honestly, because I need to catch up because I've never seen Candyman.
You're actually okay.
You're not alone.
You're actually okay. Yeah, it's a good movie. The first one's good actually, but if you know, you may want to go in blind to this one. You know, so to not have expectations. It's kind of like if you're going to go watch like 2014's RoboCop. Mm-hmm. A lot of people crapped on that movie. I think it's actually better.
Me as one of them.
Oh my god!
I still haven't seen that one.
Dude, you just brought up RoboCop. I got to ask you a question. I got a couple questions actually for you,
all right,
Matt. So first of all, I came across something the other day that I was like, "What the heck is this?" Have you looked up our RoboCop remake scene 27?
No, I haven't.
Wait, I think that rings a bell. They're going.
You cannot show it on here. I'll just tell you that. Not because of even copyright, but they basically remade the scene, where RoboCop shoots the guy in the balls, in the girl's dress. But it goes on and on and on, and at one point there are literally like hundreds of naked guys running into the shot with RoboCop blowing away their penises.
Whoa. Oh my
I'm talking penises exploding, and the whole time I'm sitting here watching this, don't ask me why, but I'm sitting here thinking like Matt Jarbo would be laughing at this.
I like
right now.
Enosh After Dark.
I laugh at a lot of things that are inappropriate.
I do too. Like, look, I thought it was absolutely hilarious because, like, it's the original guys, right? And he shoots through the dress, right? And then two other guys come in there, and like one guy's got his junk out, right? He's got his junk like all the way out, and he's like, what? What you gonna do? And he's like, creep. And he blows it away, right? And then it starts like showing it in slow motion. But then literally hundreds of guys are like sitting there, and it comes down to like one guy standing there against RoboCop. Like all these guys are getting their junk just blown into bits, right? I mean, just left and right. It's like, and like at one point he's sitting there with two guns, like going both ways, like, and you just see penises and balls exploding everywhere, close ups.
Well, they're not gonna have kids anymore.
Are
Oh my
you sure
God!
Matt didn't direct this?
I know, right? And so it's just like all over the place. And it comes down to one guy, and he's standing there with his junk out, and he's looking right at RoboCop, and he's like, "Just do it!" It's awesome.
I'm watching it. I have it up right now.
Yes.
I'm watching it.
No way. What's it called?
Why are there actual penises?
I don't know, dude.
This guy's actually got his dick out.
Wow.
Oh no, that's a prosthetic dick.
Yeah,
wow, he literally just circumcised that guy.
I'm sure there's some real ones that they just put in there, but they did a pretty good job with the props.
Yeah. Oh no, they look real enough, but when they blow them apart, it's definitely
when they
like,
blow them up. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but his aim is impeccable. The fact that it's only taking out the tip and not going through the region.
Stop! It's disgusting.
Oh my God!
Yes, anyone watching at home, it's called Our RoboCop Remake Scene 27. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Oh, now everyone's just leaving.
So much penis.
Right?
This is so much penis.
Right?
And this was an actual scene in the movie? Like
No, in the original movie, he does shoot a guy in the crotch, but then oh my God,
You can't even talk.
he's got two guns.
What did you do to Jarbo?
What did I tell you?
Oh man, oh my God, that is oh my God.
RoboCop sequel.
Woman.
Okay, that's clearly a fake one at the end.
You still got POL going. I will notify a Red Crisis Center.
Matt, what do you mean that's clearly a fake one at the end? Do you really want to see a real one?
Dude, I've watched enough. Look, all right. I'm just saying. It's
bruh.
I'm saying it looks. The prosthetics look pretty good.
Don't they? Yeah, they look pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of exploding heads.
How did you find this?
This is like that scene from Kingsman: The Secret Service, but with penises.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just watched the scene. There was like 3 women and like a bunch of guys.
Enosh, how did you find this?
So I was on TikTok. And so and they don't show it, but somebody said like, if you want to see something really funny and look up our RoboCop remake scene 27, and they were laughing like that. They were like, they're like, it's a RoboCop remake scene that you got to see. And so I was just like, okay, not something I was expecting at all.
I've never heard of that before. Yeah, I'll have to send it to some friends.
Yeah,
who are big RoboCop fans. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, that's
The other question I had, because I know you're big on like Netflix and stuff. Like, did you ever watch Back Off Haters?
I tried. I got a couple episodes into it, and I mean, like, I understand the allure of that character. Like, I get why people like her. I wanted to murder myself after I couldn't get through it. It was, and I love Angela from The Office, and then the dad was Stevie from Eastbound and Down. I thought he was great in that show. And then you watch Back Off Haters, and it's just like, what? Like, this set back YouTubers a long way, in my opinion. But a lot of people were very upset that the show got canceled.
Well, I'm hearing though that it's still coming back though.
Okay, I haven't heard that one. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. But then again, what has she done? The last thing I saw her in, like, literally was Wreck-It Ralph 2 in the cameo, where she played, season. Okay, let's see here. Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
no, I was just looking, and like, there's some people saying it's still coming back in October.
No, because I mean, it was canceled in 2012. December 2012, it was canceled.
It didn't come out till 2017.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. December 20. I'm sorry. I read that wrong.
They literally hated it enough that they
no,
went back in
December,
time and canceled it.
December 2017. That's the thing. I don't see it coming back. I think what it is though is like they're looking at, like, let's say maybe the success of Cobra Kai, and they're like, but if you bring back Off Haters, with the success of Cobra Kai coming from YouTube over to Netflix, maybe it will work.
Cobra Kai is great.
I still haven't seen Cobra Kai.
You should check it out.
Yeah, I know I need to.
I culture really well.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. I've seen the first episode. I did watch the pilot episode, and I really liked it. It's just one of those things that it just got off my radar. And even right now I'm looking at, like, what's coming out, like what I can watch, and I'm like, okay, so like what next week is the Tomorrow War, the Chris Pratt movie. Yeah. I want to watch that one. You got, and then also I think on the same day is going to be He-Man Masters of the Masters of the Universe Revelation. The 5 episodes drop of that, because you're gonna have to talk about that.
When's that come out?
I think it comes out next Friday. Yeah,
comes out next Friday.
I think it's next Friday. Yeah, I got an email. Let me hold on. Let me log into my.
So
my
are
media
they dropping
center.
the full 5 episodes, or are you gonna do the weekly?
No,
Netflix,
they just dump like first half and then another half later.
They're doing the first 5 episodes, and then they're doing oh my god, hold on here.
Awesome.
Also, have you heard anything about when F is for Family is supposed to come back?
2022, I think, or late this year. No, I think it's either late this year or early next year.
So one thing I hate about this, it doesn't make sense. Like, they do these shorter seasons and everything, but because of the way they film them and everything, like, it takes forever.
Yeah,
why are we sitting here like at literally what 6 years of Stranger Things or something like that's been out, and yet we're only going into season 4.
I mean,
it's just
look at the Venture Brothers. Look how long it takes for a season from them.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Though, animation itself takes a long time.
But even
I'm sorry. I was wrong about He-Man. It's July. It's July 23rd is when it comes out.
My grandma's birthday. All right.
So that's when it comes out. Yeah, they're dropping 5 episodes. But the thing is, like, I'm on the I have access to the Netflix Media Center, so I've actually kind of been approved as a journalist through them. Yeah,
what a surprise!
So, it was, you know what? I used to be friends with the person who had the inside track on this stuff till he backed an idiot, so all that and everything. So that was one thing.
Jarbo, journalist.
Yeah, I think Matt Jarbo is going to be
photographer for the Netflix journalist.
No, well, it's like I want to, I can email them and be like, hey, can I get an early, look, the thing is, I got to start trying to play that angle because, quite frankly, I'm tired of Grace Randolph having all the fucking hits on that one.
Well, I got to talk to you too, man, because my Comic-Con is coming up in October, man.
Oh yeah, I would apply. I would look on your website so you can get a press pass.
They haven't opened it up yet. They haven't opened up yet for people to apply. They literally just announced it last week that it's actually coming. So I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I actually feel like we qualify now.
Yeah, no, you should qualify. I just got an email from Comic-Con, from San Diego Comic-Con, and they're like, oh, you qualify for Comic-Con at home. And I'm like, last year it sucked. Why would I do it this year? You know? And then, but they're doing the actual in-person Comic-Con Thanksgiving weekend. Even my girlfriend the other day was like, she's like, are you going to go to San Diego? And I'm like, well, my stepdad just sold his house. So I don't have I have to, now actually ask someone to crash on their couch versus like having my old room. I know, first world problems. But I might go to it. I might go down there for it for the weekend to see some friends and to hang out back in San Diego. And because I do love Comic-Con, but I'll tell you, I'm still paranoid. Like I'm vaxxed and everything else, but like I'm still a little paranoid about everything. 'Cause we just got the Delta variant here in Washington, like here in my county. It's like, because keep in mind, in Washington, the first people who died in the States of COVID were in Seattle, and I'm only 60 miles south. But like, we just got the Delta variant here, and it's like,
they just lifted all restrictions here in Michigan.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Your state wants to kill you.
Florida never did anything. Our freaking governor let us all to die.
Well, actually, Matt, it should surprise you because our governor, has taken so much
heat.
Yeah, no, your governor has had people literally running the practice to kill her.
Well, yeah, they wanted to kidnap her
in the Capitol.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that they had surveilled her summer home, and they were running drills on how to assault the House or the Capitol. And then they were planning on giving her a public trial and then finding her guilty for treason. And the punishment is execution. So Gretchen Whitmer was more or less that wasn't going to end up going well for her if they would have enacted that plan.
I'll just say this. Obviously, all that stuff is bad, and nobody's nobody of sound mind supports that extremism. You know what I mean? But
obviously, yeah.
But what was weird was though, she was doing a bunch of crazy stuff that was just pissing people off. She was pushing people's buttons. She told everybody, nobody could do anything, go anywhere publicly. You were literally banned to your own little place. You couldn't go up north. She closed, because here in Michigan, it's a big thing. People go up north, right? So they go up to the northern part of the Lower Peninsula. Some people will even go into the Upper Peninsula. But people have cabins. People have places on the lakes and stuff, and she told the whole thing was you can't go to that. And then the first thing it was literally the week after she did that, her daughters were going up north to their cabin. And
didn't her husband get busted on the lake in his boat?
Well,
yeah,
no,
that was a bad look.
He went to go get their boat out because people put their boat in storage.
Yeah,
and so nobody was supposed to be able to get all that out. Well, he went to go get their boat out of storage and but they had a backlog at that point because they were starting to let people do that. And apparently he wanted preferential treatment to get the boat out of storage, right? Because of who they were. And the people who had their boat was screw that. We're not letting your boat go.
Then I think there was also an incident. I can't remember if I'm correct or not, but alcohol was still being sold, but you couldn't buy other stuff.
Yeah.
More essential stuff.
Yeah, it was so weird. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. I don't get into conspiracy theories or whatever. But here in Michigan, it was really weird. The way that everything was handled. We had this little guy in Vassar, Michigan, who was 80 years old, who was still cutting hair. He had a barber shop, and she almost made it her mission, her life's mission, to literally take this guy out. And try to just run him into the ground. The little old guy's crying, you know what I mean? He's 80 years old. He's wearing a mask. Other people were wearing a mask, and he just wanted to cut hair because he had no other income, I guess. And but then she got caught doing something, going someplace else, you know what I mean? Going out and stuff. So it was just a weird scenario.
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy.
Abusing our powers, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of that went on. I mean, in Washington, we had Jay Inslee and a lot of people, my God, doing the census during the election cycle, going out to the areas, the more rural areas that they sent me to. I mean, it was I saw, pretty vicious posters going against the governor. And even people surrounded his mansion, and people were open, his state's an open carry state. And so they were, they're out there with their guns. And I don't have a problem with any of that, to be honest with you. But it was one guy's out there for kill Inslee and all this craziness. And it's, it's just people got worked up. And then the fear set in.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of it was like the quick shutdowns and people not the stability was shifted. And when you have a shaky ground and you don't have what people believe to be proper leadership from the government, and this is true in the case of like conservative media, or at least the fringes, pushing a ton of conspiracy theories. And that ended up being such a thing that caused a lot of people to really like believe a lot of the craziness. Like, I mean, there's a reason why right now, in the Arizona election audit, they took ballots from Arizona to Montana to an isolated private property where they're going to be like forensically investigating these ballots, trying to find slivers of bamboo.
The My Pillow guy.
Yeah, to prove that the stuff came from China.
Oh my God.
And this is the thing is what I'm waiting for is the eventual inevitable movie about this.
Wow.
Because the stuff that you hear about is like it's just insane. It's just like the election. I mean, I battle people all the time over Gina Carano and whether or not she deserved to be fired. And I didn't want her fired, but
fired first.
She did not shut up, and that's a big factor. Like I talked about that today in my video, and I was like, look, James Gunn went through something very similar. James Gunn shut up, right? Carano ran to the enemy, literally the people that have spent years demonizing her former boss.
Yep.
And then like played buddy, and like was like hanging out with them in real life and stuff.
Yep.
It's just like, no, there's no way they're going to bring her back. So, I mean, it's just,
I think she'll come back. She'll eventually come back.
Maybe. Like, I mean, I would like to see it. I like Cara Dune. It won't be for a while, and she's going to have to do some serious ass mea culpa in order to be able to like get back on that one. I don't want to ignore Benson here in his super chat. 200 pounds, Justice League 7-album box set on Zavi. Now, I did actually go and find that because I saw this thing here.
Oh, I thought you said he gave you 200 pounds.
No, sorry.
Holy crap.
No. He didn't give.
Benson's, dude.
No.
Trying to own some stake in the $3 theater there. Dang.
Are you trying to show up H-Barts while he's on the stream, dude? That is big dick energy, sir. That is big dick energy.
But actually no, it's just 2 pounds.
It's just stupid. Yeah, that's fine, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Benson.
Yeah.
But no, this is Zack Snyder's Justice League original soundtrack, 7 LP set, 200 pounds. That actually looks really cool.
Will they release that in like here?
Zavi, they are a UK based company. They just bought Arrow Films, so it's like maybe through the American. Films? Yeah, Arrow Films. They do a lot of the Arrow does the 4K transfers.
Yeah, they did like a 4K transfer of The Last Starfighter not too long ago.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, so if you ever see, so this is a 4K of Pitch Black, which by the way looks amazing in the transfer.
Oh, okay.
And you see this little line right here. This is Arrow. This is their branding.
They do a lot of horror stuff.
They do a lot of horror. I got into following a lot of the physical media Twitter accounts, and like, I get so jealous.
I hate seeing Arrow updates because I'm just like, I gotta spend more money.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know Enoch has got his toys, but I look at like some of those releases.
Dude, have you seen his room?
Yeah, no, I know. If I ever make it out to Michigan, I'm going to see it firsthand, definitely.
Absolutely, man.
But like, it's for me. I look at that like I'm kind of like that with some of those releases. Like I salivate over some of those things. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why is it overseas?
Right. Hey Matt, so at the risk of driving TW crazy with this question, I have to ask you because I only talked to you about this at the beginning of the week, and it's the story that won't die this week, right? And I feel like Warner Brothers like and people are looking at me weird because I'm the one making a big deal about this. But honestly, no puns, all puns aside, whatever. This story has kind of hit home for me. Like this, it's like I've become now passionate about this because I just feel like it's insulting. I feel like it's dumb. I feel like Warner Brothers. It's the epitome of Warner Brothers really just kind of shooting themselves in the foot. William and I got into this whole discussion about, and we're kind of in disagreement about it. I actually agree with him that, okay, I get it. Warner Brother owns this internet, intellectual property. They want to protect it. They don't want it to be depicted in certain ways. Right. But I also think that it's very hypocritical given the fact that, like, did you see the Kevin Smith article?
Yeah. I saw.
It's got
yeah.
the two best Batman paragraphs ever. Like where he's just like, Batman. He's like, Batman's the best at what he does. He trains for everything. You can't tell me that guy's not out, searching the world, finding the lick master to come back and be able to, be the absolute best at it, whatever. And so the thing is though, is that I just feel like it's dumb when they came out and they're like, heroes don't do this. Right?
Yeah.
Like that encompasses all their heroes. When you say heroes don't do this, you're encompassing all your heroes. William, and I love William, and William, if you're watching, we've had this conversation. But like I agree with him on the subject. But when you say heroes, you're not just saying Batman, you're saying heroes don't do this. Yet in your own comics, Oliver Queen has literal panels of him doing that.
Oh, I saw those panels you showed.
It's very hypocritical to me, and I just feel like it's
they only do it for the main characters. Like, not many people like the other side characters.
Mm-hmm. But
they want the marketable ones.
Yeah, well, William said, but it's not Batman, and I said, well, tell CW that, because CW for the first 4 years, man, they gave us was Batman stories, basically substituting Green Arrow. So
and Supergirl gave us Superman stories.
Yeah. So the thing is like, I don't know why I'm so like just riled up about this, but for me, I feel like it's insulting to people, almost acting like, well, this is like a bad thing people do. Like, I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm not saying that it's like, I wanted them to put it in the show or anything like that. All I'm saying is I just think like Warner Brothers should have just let this go. Do they have every right to get it taken down or whatever? Sure. But the thing is like, they should have just let it go. If they do that, the story was going away. It was fading away. It was done. And now they come in 4 days later and they hit Zack Snyder with a copyright, cease and desist kind of claim, taking it down. It's just pure stupidity to me that they're dying on that hill.
Yeah. I believe that Ray Porter said it best, where it's if WB said, you know what, we don't want Batman to do this, then it would be fine. But the fact that they said heroes don't do this, what do you mean by heroes?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It is.
Okay, so it's like, they have every right to protect their IP the way that they want to protect it. The thing is, though, so people did do a reverse image search for that, and through TinEye, and to see if Zack had found that anywhere online to maybe credit the original artist or whatever, but there was no results. So either Zack drew that himself or he commissioned it from somebody and put it up there. The fact that all he said was canon and he dropped it was amazing.
Yes.
Because look, I know you won't agree with me, but like, there is so much back and forth between Warner's and Zack right now. Like it's such a tumultuous relationship.
I absolutely agree with you.
If Zaslav wants to fix this stuff, we'll figure that out down the road.
Yeah.
But for right now, it is definitely like a turf war, and it's a pissing contest, 100%.
Absolutely.
So I think,
100% agree with you, man.
I don't
think the war.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think Zack Snyder's pissing straight. That's all I'm saying.
No, it was funny. It literally broke Twitter. Like, it just broke Twitter because the thing had like 90,000 retweets overall and like 330,000 likes. I mean, it got shared everywhere. People were talking about it. Like, there was all these articles that were like, Zack Snyder wades in on Batman's cunnilingus tendencies or something, and like everyone was talking about it. And then again, what did that do? That brought more people into talking about the Snyder Cut. Like, well, wait a minute here, hold on. Like, because think about it like this: who did Snyder want to be Catwoman? Carla Gugino, right?
Yeah,
Gugino. I mean, so the idea there essentially is that it's Batfleck doing that to Carla, and you know what? A lot of people.
Oh, just picturing now.
If he ever makes Justice League 2, just put it in there for Warner Brothers.
Just do it.
Yeah,
just you know what? Here's the thing though, but make it Mara. Just for the whole, just to double down on eating fish. You know what I mean? Just to really kind of get it in there.
But it's like, if you hear these Warner Brothers creators being more vocal against Warner Brothers, what does that mean?
Nothing, not a thing. Here's the reason why these people sue each other constantly. You know, like Todd Phillips, who wrote and directed Joker, sued Warner Brothers over earnings from the Hangover trilogy that he felt that he was owed. Peter Jackson famously sued Warner Brothers for the Lord of the Rings trilogy for money he felt that he was owed before going off to go do the Hobbit films. You know, so they sue each other. To them, see, we view lawsuits as this big, massive thing because it costs a lot of money to do and it's all time consuming. These people live in a completely different world. They have money. They just go, I want this, and they go off and they get it done. Someone else handles it and they keep them informed when they need to. But otherwise, in many instances, it just doesn't apply to them. Like, I used to work at this flower shop, and I brought it up before. I had Jennifer Love Hewitt's home address, right?
You do?
Her home address on scratch paper.
Oh my God, you do.
like that was the thing, is I had all of this information because I had Amex cards, Discover cards, whatever, man. Identity theft runs rampant in Hollywood, and they don't care because they're all insulated. They have teams in place to look after this stuff. You know, like, look at these actors that, like, if anything gets leaked out there, they hire a team to scour the internet to start taking stuff down, you know. And what the hell did you bring up here?
Safe space.
Oh,
awesome.
No. Oh my God.
That's super. That's super,
man. Man.
Oh God, my God.
And you know what, man? Like, if you think he's faster than a speeding bullet, what do you think he's?
Did you forget Superman 2, where Superman knows
more powerful than a locomotive?
Oh,
what are people talking about with Peter Dinklage being cast in Man of Steel 2?
Wait, what?
People, what?
What?
I keep randomly seeing that pop up.
What's he
I'm like,
gonna-
what is this?
Hey, you know, like, I had
I'd like to know where the Man of Steel 2
Mixel
conversation
Pitlick.
starts, period.
Wow, that would be an interesting change of tone. Mixel Pitlick with Dinklage.
I don't know.
I don't know. I still like Gilbert Godfrey.
A couple of days ago.
I don't know what DC's planning at this point, if they even intend on doing any of this stuff. I mean, there's all these movies that they did plan that haven't gone anywhere, and there's movies that they want to get made that they probably will. But I think a lot of stuff's getting, like, what was the thing today? Madam X? Was it Madam
Web?
Not Madam Web. It's a DC thing. It was announced today. J.J. Abrams is.
Wait, hold on. You might know that.
It's like Madam. I don't even know. But that's the thing. So apparently, what it looks like is on the HBO Max side of things, JJ's focusing on Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
right?
Madam Xanadu.
Madam Xanadu. Okay, thank you.
Madam X.
Yeah, so they're going to be taking that, you know, that stuff.
Look, if J.J. Abrams is going to be doing this, I would really prefer them, the directors, any director that's going to come to work with Warner Brothers, take full control, full production control. That's what I want.
That's what they've given them.
I think what's gonna, they paid a lot of money for that, which is why it's gonna be very fascinating to kind of see what happens if there's any kind of clash between, you know, I mean, honestly, God, I'm waiting for Doomcock to put out videos saying that J.J. Abrams and Walter Hamada are currently fighting, and there's a civil war at DC Films, and then all the Snyder Cut fanboys are going to run over to Doomcock and go, "This man, he knows what's happening. It's legitimate, guys." Because you know they're going to.
Doomcock that said Kathleen Kennedy got fired.
Oh,
I don't know. I still, like, you know, like I said in my video, eventually it's inevitability that Kathleen Kennedy will one day leave.
Will
right?
JJ ever finish this stuff, or is he just going to start and then give up halfway?
The Madam X thing, he's only producing. He's really only, as far as I can tell, directly involved in Justice League Dark. For like the Zatanna movie, they've got oh crap.
Oh, your camera went off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. No, it's been 3 hours. That's why. Hold on here. Okay. My camera's on a 3-hour timer, so it will go off after 3 hours.
So when does a camera have a time limit?
It's because it's a point and shoot camera. It's not like my hold on here. Like,
well, Enosh is your show, man.
Once again.
He's still there.
$3 with Enosh.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I don't have the ability to, like.
Oh, look, you're farther now.
Yeah, I don't have the ability. I'll just leave this on. I don't have the ability to mess with the colors on this, so I don't really use it very often.
Mm-hmm.
But But the thing is, so I mean, JJ's really only handling that. The Zatanna movie, Emerald Fennel, yeah, from Promising Young Woman, and she's writing the screenplay, not directing the movie, and they're working on a bunch of other things. So I mean, when it comes to DC, like a lot of their stuff's gonna be focusing on the television, and I really do think that Suicide Squad is gonna kind of, if that does as well as I think it's gonna do, that you can kind of see that's the direction they want to go for that. But again, with the Batman coming, it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think about the possibility? And again, it's just a possibility that they're going to maybe tie in Joker to being a prequel to the Batman.
I think they will.
No, can't see
No,
it.
no,
Can't
no,
see it.
no.
They want money.
Joaquin Phoenix will be too old by the time he's
No, because
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix said that it wouldn't be his Joker that Batman fights, but whoever Batman fights would be inspired by the Joker. Yeah, he said that. He said that.
Well, like even Enosh has pitched, that kind of idea that the Joker that we know, so to speak, or the Joker of that world is not Arthur Fleck, it's somebody else.
Well, yeah, but Arthur Fleck was the impetus. He was
exactly.
he was like the
Was he though? Was he though? Because what I have pitched is this: is in that movie, nothing that happens that's positive towards Arthur Fleck is ever real. The girl is not real. Him having a relationship with Robert De Niro's character, not real. Everybody treating him with respect and him going over well at the comedy club, not real. So at the end, with literally everything going his way, and like people lifting him up on their shoulders in the middle of town and like parading him through after all that stuff. Why should we believe that that's real when it's a positive thing that's happened to him, and literally none of the positive things that happened to him in the movie are real? So my theory is this: is that because the movie ends with him back in therapy, still talking about it.
Yeah, but then he murdered the lady.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that he may absolutely do that. But I'm just saying what my theory is that he lives in Gotham. He's a guy who lives in Gotham. He is aware of things like the Joker. He is aware of things that like Batman or whatever. Maybe it's pre-Batman, or maybe it's like right around that time that all starts, right? But he's aware of the Joker, and so what he's doing is he's projecting himself onto the character of the Joker as being like a pseudo Joker to make himself feel better about himself, because Arthur Fleck is trying to find himself throughout the entire film. He's trying to find that thing that makes him special or whatever. And so the Joker is really out there, but he's not the impetus for the Joker being him. He's trying to be like the Joker.
But then again, what was the whole idea? What was the whole idea of the third act of that film? The whole idea of the third act of that film was that because of how people like Thomas Wayne had handled the city, and how there was like the gas shortage and the striking on the trash guys, right? There was a strike on there, and it was the city had descended into chaos, and people were looking for something to kind of rally around. And Arthur Fleck did kill those people. He did kill those guys dressed as the Joker, and then through there, other things happened. And while
he started getting,
I think he did.
Inspired.
I'm just saying every successful thing that he does in that movie,
every good thing.
Well,
him killing them wasn't a good thing.
No,
him
that's
killing
true.
them, him killing them was in direct retaliation for them attacking him, and it was also coming after those dudes had beat him up, and he was already pissed off, and he had the gun. And so the thing was, it kind of looked like
this. The confidence though that overtakes him is weird. Like when he literally goes from being like barely being able to hold onto a gun to being proficient with it.
He wasn't really that proficient with it. It doesn't take a lot to fire a handgun. It's very close range. Yeah. If it would have been like, he was a marksman, like dead shot from like 200, feet away or whatever, 200 yards. Then like, no, that's not real. But the thing is, in that scene, he pulls out the gun and he fires it into the guy.
He was even scared of using the gun.
Yeah. So, but then this is what happens when the adrenaline kicks in, right? The adrenaline kicked in and it felt good. So he kept doing it. That was the whole point. That was why after that he ran and he freaked out. But see, I see what you're trying to say, but ultimately if you start following the film after that, every good thing he built up in his head starts crumbling and reality starts setting in. And in the process of what he was imagining, which was like the mom and the girl and the comedy bits and everything else, he wasn't aware of the social revolution that he was that he was influencing. Because at the end of that movie, the guy dressed with the Joker mask did kill Thomas and Martha Wayne. And what I'm talking about is, what if Batman hates the Joker because of not so much that the Joker killed his parents, but that the Joker inspired the man who did kill his parents. And that is what drew him to fight crime. And maybe also that's the one reason why he can't kill the Joker, because that's the one thing that's always stuck with him. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like go to the Killing Joke, right? In the beginning of the Killing Joke, when Batman goes to Arkham and he's talking to the Joker and he's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? The inevitability is either I kill you or you kill me. And Batman wants to save Joker. Cycle. It's an endless cycle. And that endless cycle, we have more or less in Joker see that begin. And so if they were finding a way to tie in Joker to the Batman, I think it would work. I think it could fly. I think it would be a big leap for a lot of people, but I think it could do okay.
The thing with Joker and the Batman is, for the Joker, everybody has a Joker in them. So he tries to bring them out. And that's where Batman tries to stop him, where he doesn't force, but he plays onto the people's weakness so they can do evil acts.
I have another way of seeing it. Like in The Dark Knight, Batman's about justice, Joker's about chaos. It's like yin and yang. As he said, this is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object.
Yeah, and I thought that was always a great characterization of that. But I do real quick here, because I feel like I've been neglecting. I got a couple super chats to get to, so hold on here. Benson here, $2 asking the question, or £2. Oh, see you later, TW. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for coming in, man. We'll talk again soon, all right, buddy? Yeah. Thank you. TW's a great guy. Always good to have around.
Thank you.
Asking, will I be getting, or any of us really getting, the 8-disc Snyder trilogy? I think that's kind of pretty self-explanatory at this point. The answer to that is yes. I know I will be. The 4K, I'll get the 4K version of it, because I have BVS in 4K. I don't have Man of Steel in 4K, but I got Justice League in 4K. But it's a fucking trilogy. So it's one of those things. It's like, Enosh, how many Boba Fett's do you have?
The vintage ones, I got 3 right here in front of me.
Yeah, Enosh.
I got another 110 in the cabinet over here. Did you see this one? Did you see this one that what it had written on the back? Were you on when I had? So I got this week, and on the back of the head it says Max.
Oh.
and I've shared that the reason why I started collecting vintage Boba Fett's like that was because they each tell a story, right? I've got some that are burned to a crisp. I got some that missing arms, some missing heads, pieces, whatever. And when I saw this one of Max, that it says Max on there, first of all, some kid owned this and took this on adventures and had fun with it or whatever. But I thought of my buddy Max, Mad Max the Mandalorian, and so this Boba Fett will have a special place in my cabinet.
Oh yeah,
like
I think Max will be very happy with that. We'll have to let him know. Yeah, Max, come out of retirement, you filthy bastard.
Absolutely.
I talked to him the other day. He's like, I don't know, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. All right, man, I love you. Shut the fuck up.
Max,
thank you.
He just like random. He'll just like. He like randomly called me at like 11 p.m. my time the other night. I was like, what the hell? You're up late, dude. Anyway, also
the day that he was sending us all text messages, like it got like that was hilarious.
Well, real quick, Max sent us a text message with a selfie of him, so we got to see what he looked like, and he looked good. He looked happy. And then like we're all communicating via text message on the phone, and then he got all pissed off because he's like, I can't turn off the notifications, and I made a mistake.
Well, you text a handful of people, and and they haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, we talked, and then he was all freaking out about that. It's pretty funny. Anyway, here, Simon Section, thank you very much, says, I can't wait for the how it should have ended take on Batman going down.
That version.
Just because of Batman. I think, you know what? I think they're already animating it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that thing plays out. And then there was, fourth here on the topic of the Joker. Fourth, it says here, Phoenix Joker being a story about mental illness and neglect isn't a Joker fit for a hero Batman to punch in the face and fight in classic form. Yeah, I understand what you mean by that, but at the same time, is anyone going to care? That's my question. Because people, here's to look at it like this. It boils down to the fact that either the Joker is either a Joker movie or it's a movie about mental health. It really can't be both. right? And I say that because I like the message it had about mental health and everything, but it's tying into a larger universe, a larger world. And if it doesn't play, and it played into so many of those tropes, so many of those storylines, so many of those characters, setting things up and whatever. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm tired, so I'm kind of rambling, but
Yeah, no, I guess my final thought, and then I got to get going because it's like 5 a.m.
yeah,
but,
it's almost 2. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I guess when I watch the Joker is such a great movie. It's a great movie on its own. It doesn't have to be the Joker in that role. It can literally be anybody. And I just have this feeling like I'm really actually worried about them doing a sequel to it because I don't see that Joker. First of all, like that Joker to me doesn't fight Batman. He's not a genius that like is able to pull off some of the things that the Joker has pulled off over the years. He's an insecure mentally. Oh. The heck was that? He's an insecure, mentally ill person who is pitied more than anything. Like I feel more pity for the Joker, and maybe that's the point of it, is to make me feel bad for the Joker. I don't know, but I don't see him being the criminal mastermind, the clown prince of crime, Joker. And I kind of agree with this. I had never really thought of it like this, but like if we're meant to feel bad for the Joker because of who he is and what he's been through, do you really want to see like a vengeful Batman just like taking him out? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the characters.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry to say that. I consider myself a extreme Batman fan, and I don't consider Batman being a hero in the sense of him dealing with mental illness himself, where he doesn't want other people to feel his pain, where he became Batman when he saw his parents get murdered. So he's dealing with mental illness himself. He became Batman when his parents get murdered. So his alter ego is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So it's like the Joker is the opposite of him, where Batman wants to protect people feeling his pain and make them do evil acts, where Joker tries to bring out the evilness within people.
I do think that, okay, so my mother was diagnosed, and I don't know your history with mental illness or people who I'm always trying to be because you never know where somebody's at, but my mother was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, manic depressive. She was an alcoholic, she was addicted to drugs, and she went through a lot of stuff. And I guess I because of my experience with her, my emotions run the gambit with her because she was very violent, and so there are times where I think about her and I think about like where I don't have pity on some of the things that she did, and then there's some things that I do have pity on the things that she did, and then I think about like like the trauma that happened to Batman. Yes, it's part of mental illness, but I do believe that there are differences in mental illnesses and how they affect people, how they affect people's lives, how they affect people, how they work in society and stuff. So like there's the like I'm damaged kind of thing, and like I'm working through where Batman is clearly, he's very damaged. He's very
yes.
He's been traumatized, right? And then with the Joker is very kind of crazed, like this hypersensitive, I don't want to say craziness, but this hypersensitive, mentalness that he's way over the top. He's dramatic. But he's dealing with a lot of it. And I kind of relate that more to kind of that schizophrenia where it's like you have these different personalities, you have these different ways of doing things. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
I get you.
Mental illness has all these different factors to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
I have one pushback on that though. And it's not, because I agree with your point about the character and being sympathetic to the character, but at the end he kills a social worker for no reason.
Oh.
Yeah, look, dude,
it
I've watched my mom drop kick another woman in the face and break her nose. I've
Yeah.
watched my mom do some crazy stuff for absolutely no reason. I've watched my mom scream in somebody's face that they molested her kids and everything else, like total strangers. You know what I mean? So like that's part of.
No, well, no, I get it, but there's also,
but like, how do you feel about that? Like, if you know that person has no, like, is it? Trust me, I struggled with this with my own mom, right? Because that's why I was raised by my grandmother. So I struggled with this with my own mom. Do I look at my mom as somebody to be pitied because, or not even just pitied? I don't want to just like put it on it, but do I look at my mom as somebody who has this problem that she can't control? That's a better way to put it. She can't control.
Sure.
And yes, she was a danger to herself. Dude, she lived in abandoned houses at some point. Like she fell down a bunch of stairs into a basement and broke her arm, and her arm was kind of messed up in her later years. Is it something that she can't control, or is it something that she has to be held accountable for the things that she did because she wasn't there for me and my sisters and those things? And like, how should I feel about that? So I feel that same way watching the Joker movie, actually.
Oh,
Hello?
do we lost Enoch?
we might have lost Enosh in that one. Yeah, he freezes up sometimes too. So, but that's kind of a good looking image of him right there.
Oh, he froze.
So it happens. But I do think on that note, I do have to start winding it down. I know, Enosh, you froze. I know you wanted to, because
it's all good.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that line is. Do I feel for like the Joker has control over his tendencies and he needs to be held accountable for them, or do I feel like the Joker has issues that are beyond him? And yes, people who have those issues will still do horrible, terrible things in what would seem like cold blood, but it's just because they're not in control of their facilities, right? So I don't know what the answer to that is with the Joker.
His thing is all. It just takes one bad day.
Yeah, I feel like with the character that Joaquin Phoenix plays, though, it's much deeper than that. Like that ain't one bad day. That's
no, of course.
That's just string of bad events.
He made
but
up
that
his
that
relationship.
to me that's not even that's not even a string of bad events that caused that. That's he has.
But the government like
it didn't
take
nothing
everything
caused
away
him
from
to
him.
be that way.
No, the government took everything away from him. His social worker that was helping him out with his meds took everything away from him. So he tried to cope with something else, and he found something with shooting the adrenaline with shooting these guys. And he found something else, and that's where you see him going to the neighbor's house and started kissing that girl, making a fake relationship in his mind, where he went to a comedy club, he sucked, but in his head, he did so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they got the video where he went to the show with Robert De Niro's show where they made fun of him. And then he realized they were making fun of him.
I think though that if you watch that movie and you take it on its face value, I think we're losing the deepness of it. Because if you've seen The King of Comedy, the movie The King of Comedy,
I haven't.
Real cinema.
I heard about it.
Okay,
Real cinema.
No. So I'm just gonna tell you. If you haven't seen The King of Comedy, which is what the Joker strongly takes from, Robert De Niro plays a character who does a lot of crazy things, and that's what that movie is absolutely based on. It's based on this idea of you don't know what's real and what's not. You can't take the movie for face value, because every time you start to take the movie for face value, you realize you're wrong. So I don't know. I don't know. I listen, and that's the point. Like, is the Joker borrows heavily from the King of Comedy movie. So, and that's been out there. So if I'm looking at everything,
and also
I realize
Taxi Driver and
Taxi
a couple
Driver,
others.
But it does borrow heavily from King of Comedy as well. And so like I don't feel like we could just take that movie like for what it's telling us, you know what I mean? Like on the surface level of like, these are the things that the Joker, that Arthur Fleck faces. And so these are the results, and it's just cut and dry. I maybe I'm looking too much into the movie, but I just know based on everything that surrounds the movie, that the movie is based on, and what I see in the movie, and then my own experiences with my mom,
I just see that there's like a whole other issue going on with that movie that I don't believe that. I think people take it a little too much, just like a surface level movie, like that this is ABC. And so that's one of the reasons why with a sequel to it, whether or not
No,
it's connected,
I would
whether or
not
not it's
want a
connected
sequel.
to, yeah, whether or not it's connected to Pattinson, you know, like
No.
I don't understand how you do a sequel to that movie.
I would not want a sequel.
To me,
No.
I don't want a sequel to it. I just leave it alone, because
Yes.
I think if you try to dig into it and you start explaining stuff, or it turns out to be something different and it's not as deep or whatever, I don't care. I get it though. It made $1 billion on a $50 million, $70 million budget, and so there's money to be made, and they know it, and so. So, you know, we could be sitting here in a couple of years talking about, man, don't you wish that they didn't make that movie? Or, you know, I don't know, they could have a story, but I feel like at this point, if they make a sequel to that movie, it's for nothing more than they know they can make money.
Well, and that's probably what took Todd Phillips to come back, because like he didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because there's all those
And
questions
Joaquin
about
said he
it.
didn't want to either.
Well, yeah, Joaquin said he didn't want to, but then again, you know, money is very, it's very, very, inspiring. To some cases, it's very alluring. But at the same time, though, it's like Warner's pushing the multiverse aspect of it, and you know, clearly wanting to move, I guess, Batman in a different direction. Tying
Well,
the
they
two
want to
films.
milk that Batman money.
Well, if they want to milk it, that's the best way to milk it. Is to tie them together, but do it in a way where it's like where Arthur Fleck is dead, so we don't get another Joker movie, but his legacy has inspired other people to take up the mantle.
It sounds like that Gotham TV show again.
They could do it like the Jokers from the Batman Beyond. Like they're a gang that follows the ideals of the Joker.
Or like Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, where
They could
it's
be
all
like
brainwashing.
what's the name of that movie where the people dressed in white? Andy Kubrick.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Clockwise.
Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the Droogs. That ought to be fascinating.
Hey, we could get a three Jokers storyline by the time it's all done.
Well, okay, we could. Fourth here, $5. Thank you very much, man. It says the Joker killing the social worker at the end just makes no sense according to the movie's rule of him only killing people who wronged him. I agree. Now, but Dark Beast here. But Dark Beast does bring up a good point. Hank does. He says she did kind of wrong him since she was just going through the motions and showed she didn't legitimately care about him. Now I get that, but at the same time, it's like, is he so far gone on that front that this is just where he's at? So, I mean, like, I don't know about that. Like, unless the accident at the end of the movie, like when they drug him out of the car or whatever else, we don't know. It's a very ambiguous thing, to be honest with you. I think I get what both are saying. And maybe it's because he's such an unreliable narrator. That is the questions we're left with. That's what we're supposed to ask.
Yep.
And I do think that's interesting considering everything. But I also wonder, was the social media hysteria surrounding the movie, how much of that did it influence our take on it? Right? Because, the military was issuing warnings. Police were outside my theater when I went to go see it.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people. And it was all this massive,
Did the White House get
they were-
involved?
Yeah, I think so.
They were just issuing those warnings because of the Dark Knight Returns. I mean,
the dark, but yeah, no, and I know the whole thing with the Aurora, Colorado shooting, the James Holmes shooting, and that's a fascinating thing in and of itself. I reading up on that whole thing is nuts, but yeah, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's like it had been, there were no police out there 4 years later for Batman v Superman. There were no police out there 4 years later for Suicide Squad. There nothing out there for Justice League. Right. So, I mean, there was a narrative that was created by people like Peter Sciretta at Slash Film and others that were creating this coordinated effort to come out and say that this movie is bad and that certain people shouldn't see this movie. And they were making those comments privately at the first screening of the film, which is what I heard from Louis Lecca when he called me and told me about it. And then as soon as they dropped the social media impressions, Peter Sciretta was running with that narrative full stop, with full steam. And I called him out on it. And he got real mad at me for calling him out on it because I'm like, you're already trying to set this false intention. You know, like you are a group of like 15 people, whatever, 50 people who saw this movie early, and you're trying to tell everyone that it's going to cause violence. So it's like, you better have a good fucking reason to think that, you know, or you just run in your mouth for the sake of points. So anyway, that's all. I mean, that whole thing was, whatever.
The only DC thing I want to see before everything's over with is just a Affleck Batman film, but I know it won't happen, sadly.
Same here.
At this point, just give me Batfleck. I mean, I would love Man of Steel too, and I would love more Cavill, but
what happens though if he survives the Flash?
I don't think
all
he
bets
will
are off.
survive it.
All bets are off. At that point, 100% believe all bets are off.
Like, I was talking to my parents about this stuff, and they're like, "So what's going on with this?" I'm like, well, everything's messed up right now." Like,
shit.
Like, I don't know if the Suicide Squad is connected to the original or not. Like, it seems like it is, but it isn't.
It is. I mean, come on. Like, here's the thing. It features quite a few of the same characters. You know,
they just nitpick. I mean, not nitpick, but pick and choose what they want from Zack's universe.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but it is just, you know, I mean, look, the thing is, James and Zack are friends. I don't think James is going to do anything to like F over Zack.
Me either.
I just don't see it happening. James is actually a really stand-up guy.
Is Matt Reeves a friend of Zack's?
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I saw a video of Zack like saying that he supports Matt Reeves' movie and he's all for it.
That is true. Well, I went to go see it. Real quick here, Fourth with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Fourth. It says Joker 2 being Fleck kidnapping a mentally broken Bruce Wayne from Arkham after his parents' death and taking him under his wing to heal his pain in bizarre, cruel ways, ending with Bruce rejecting him. That could be something.
That could be pretty cool.
Ending with him, like, you know, finding the Batcave and then training to never want to, you know, to make sure that no one ever gets hurt again.
Yeah, you can have the bats flying around him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For one, I'm actually okay with that premise. I have no issue with it. You'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, it's like it's such a complicated thing. They got to be surgical with their precision. If they fuck up, and people are going to rightfully chew their asses off.
Oh heck.
So if they don't, so it's like the thing is, it's like this. I love Todd Phillips, but then again, The Hangover Part 2 was just a remake of The Hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, it was literally the same concept. Now, but granted, there was actually a psychological reason for that. And that the whole idea was that at the end of these movies, the characters are supposed to be better, having learned their lesson. The idea of history repeating itself, it goes back to that old adage, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And that effectively was the premise for The Hangover Part 2. Again, lazy, however you want to frame it, sure. But that was what they were going for with it. And I kind of like that approach. But again, it's like, that's the only sequel that he's done. And, you know, so maybe he's learned. Maybe he's learned. We'll have to wait and see on this one.
Hey, do you guys...
But thank you very much for that one, Fourth.
What was that, H-Parts?
Hey, do you guys know where Shazam or Black Adam are being filmed?
Shazam is, I want to say, like, it's in Canada or something.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. I can.
Because I was wondering if Henry Cavill will make a cameo as Superman, because he just like posted a couple of weeks ago that he's coming to
They're filming in
America.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, they're filming in Atlanta. Yeah.
Shazam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where is Black Adam filming at?
Let's see. Black Adam.
Oh man, RJ asking the tough question here with the $3 super sticker. Thank you. Whatever happened to Big Trouble in Little China development hell, which is where it should stay?
With the Rick?
Yeah. God. I just can't believe. I can't believe The Rock was like, yeah, I'm going to totally do another Big Trouble in Little China, like without Kurt Russell. I'm sorry.
No.
Without Kim Cattrall, like what? No.
Should he bring back all the little kids too?
You bring back James Wan, goddammit, because you know he's just getting his walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's getting a star. That just came out the other day. So James Hong is great, and you bring back Lopan.
Oh.
You bring back Lopan.
Well, hey guys, I'm gonna get going. But hey,
yeah.
thanks for having me on. H Barts, It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Nice
And
talking with you.
I can't wait to see you back at home over on the lounge. And,
All right.
Why are you looking that way?
and I'm serious. I'm serious. We're gonna have a special ceremony just for H Barts. H Barts is gonna be I'm gonna make a first ever honorary position.
So, he's talking. I'm just going to mute him. He's just talking. He's just thinking, he's just this is like, like kid gets 2 Christmases. All right. And,
am I muted?
No, you were muted. I unmuted you.
Okay. Just saying, we're going to make an honorary position for H Barts over at the lounge. So
I still need my Arby's delivered as well.
Well, you know what? You got a better shot of me bringing your Arby's than
that is
that
true.
guy
You
over
do. I am a couple thousand miles away. My car gets great. Yeah, sure. Like, I can't bring like more than 4 ounces of liquid on a flight, right? Like I've traveled with burritos before. It's not as easy as you think.
You got your own private copter.
Sure. Yeah. That sounds about right.
With all those super chats, man, you could have.
I mean, yeah.
If you hadn't spent it all on that Betamax porn, maybe.
I never bought the beta. No, I never bought Betamax porn. I was given for payment for services rendered. I was helping out on a photo shoot.
Whoa, all right.
The HD copy of. I'm not kidding you either.
Sure, they paid me with porn.
No, I'm not even making that up. That actually happened. My friend called me one day. My friend called me one day. He's a photographer. He was a photographer in San Diego, and he's like, I got this gig I need help on. I need a person to come with me and like hold the bounce board and stuff. He's like, I'll buy you lunch and I'll give you a copy of that Pirates movie we were talking about the other day. And I'm like, well, I'm like, okay, come on, man. I'm like, I don't really need the Pirates movie, but I'll help you out anyway. And it's a collector's item.
You need your own home copy of it for sure. Man.
I already had it downloaded, man. Like I've actually watched that movie for the story. It's actually
physical media.
I've actually watched the Pirates movie and just it's the only porn I've ever fast forwarded through scenes of. I'm like, okay, come on, you know what? I've seen this. All right, let's keep. Ooh, Pirates.
Is it Oscar worthy?
No.
Is it
but it's fun. It's really stupid fun movie. It's one of those things where it's like it's a dumb, a campy swashbuckling film. They spent $1 million on this movie. That is
I remember that film when it came out.
I mean you could have gone to Blockbuster.
Being a big story. It was a big huge story. Yeah.
You could have gone to Blockbuster and rented it. Like the R-rated version of it was on store shelves.
Yep.
I
remember that.
It's like they actually tried to like interject a decent enough story into the movie in order to kind of push it out to a mass market. And it was, again, I mean, just as far as production goes, that's fascinating. And those are the kind of things I want to learn about. And so, yeah, I've seen the movie.
So my question about that is because I remember them pushing that movie hard. And it being, in the video store and everything, the R-rated version, the regular version, everything. My question is like, was that going to be like a strategy that they were going to try to push? And like, we never really saw the adult industry kind of do that again. Have we?
Well, they did a sequel.
Yeah, I remember they did. Cause I just remember seeing those movies next to each other, right next to Pirates of the Caribbean, because they both began with P.
Yes.
But the thing is like, but did they ever like do any? There weren't any other like big tent pole. Pitch in a tent films.
They've done a lot of. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what they've done. I just know that they've done these ones. I mean, like they spent like a lot of money on it. Like even this, according to Wikipedia, the film was initially released as a 3-disc DVD set. The movie on a standard video DVD, the movie again in high definition, 720p Windows Media format, so digital.
Wow.
And then a special features disc that was priced as high as $70, right? That was the X-rated version of the film, right? Then they had an edited R-rated version of the film released on DVD on July 11th, 2006. And they apparently also released the motion picture soundtrack of the movie. And then they've released it on Blu-ray as well, and HD DVD as one of the first high definition adult releases on an optical disc format. And I've got the HD DVD somewhere.
What is this movie?
It's called Pirates.
Pirates, yeah.
Yeah, so it's called so I'll just oh my god. Okay, so I'll just read you the general like overview from Wikipedia. It's a 2005 American pornographic action adventure film written, produced, and directed by someone named June. The film stars Jesse Jane and a bunch of other porn stars. And it's the most
oh my god.
It's a yeah, it's so it's
where have you been, bro?
Yeah, and it was made so then they did so it had a reported budget of well over $1 million, and its sequel apparently had a budget of over $8 million. So if they put that's what it says. So if they put how does Matt know these things? Dude, he has his sources.
The first one, because I remember the first one being a big deal, but I don't remember the second one being that big of a deal.
I don't.
They spent 8 times.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that big of a deal myself. I remember reading about the first one, and then seeking out the first one because I was curious, and then I've never seen the second one actually.
Just for people to be able to like literally watch it for free now.
Yeah, I mean this is the cover of the box art for like what they were selling you, the DVD and HD DVD.
Hey, that's what's her name. That's what's her name. That's that chick who went to prison, isn't it?
What Mercedes?
The main chick over there on the left. No, what's her name?
That's Jesse. That's
the second
Janine.
one is Janine. She went to prison.
Did Janine go to prison?
Yeah, she went to prison. Yeah, I think she just got out of prison not too long ago.
Hold on. Now I'm curious because I'm like, what?
You gonna test my knowledge? You don't think I know about this stuff?
Let's see. Okay, yeah, I guess. Well, it's not that I'm like, it is. Okay, hold on here. So, according to her personal life,
please stop, Enosh.
She dated Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and let's see here. Okay. Now hold on. She faced up to, hold on. So she pled guilty to a misdemeanor federal charge of willful failure to pay federal income taxes. So she owed $300,000. She went for tax evasion. My God.
Yep.
So she served a 6-month federal prison sentence in 2008. And then she lived in a residential community correction center for up to 6 months following her release. And then she had a year of supervised release, and then she paid back nearly $300,000. But her husband was Jesse James, who went on to go marry Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
Oh, so it's like, how is that for a thing? That's like there's some deep lore there. There's some I didn't know any of this.
Dude,
there's some deep lore. How do you know? I mean, it makes sense how I know because I'm a dirty pervert. All right, let's be fair. Okay, it makes sense how I know these things, but she's like, you went to jail, right? Like, I know that.
Just saying, because I know this stuff. I thought
you were talking about like Mercedes Carrera, who I've actually interacted with on Twitter. There was a Gamergate thing. She got busted a couple of years ago for like molesting her child, essentially, and so she's still locked up for that. She claims her innocence, so allegedly and stuff. But that's I don't
know. But remember in the 80s where it's like, if you had sex with this person, you've had sex with every person that they had sex with. So somewhere Sandra Bullock, man, has a history.
No, don't tell me that, Enosh.
Oh God.
Don't tell me that, Enosh. I have a huge crush with Sandra Bullock since I was a kid.
I'm just saying, I love Sandra Bullock too, but Sandra Bullock now, she's married to Jesse James.
No,
I don't know. She's not. I think they broke up a while ago.
No, I'm saying she was, and so Jesse James was married to this person.
And now he's like with Cam Von D, right?
So on and so on and so on. My gosh.
Damn. Enosh,
let's see.
My question is this, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, but if it's not, I think it's a wasted opportunity. I saw once that there was like a porn parody that based on Indiana Jones, and I wondered why it was not titled in Diana Jones.
Oh my God.
Wasn't that one Indiana Jane? Wasn't that one?
I think it was like Indiana Jane, and I was just like, why? They missed an opportunity.
They did. Yes. But remember, it was so when they did the porn parody of Pulp Fiction, it was called Pulp Friction. And then they did one for Twister, but it was just Twist Her. You know, like in the 90s, they didn't really care about the title. They don't even care about the titles now. I mean, my God, you go to any of these adult websites and it's just like, hey there, step bro. I mean, like, you know, it's that's what's on the front page.
Deep Impact anal stories.
Pretty much. I mean, like,
I
something
gotta
like
miss
that.
those weird titles.
I'm just saying. I just think they missed a huge opportunity without titling one in Diana Jones.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. When you finally decide to retire from the church, you can then follow your true passion, producing pornography. But
Sure,
Christian,
sure, why
but
not?
it's Christian pornography. So it's
Dude,
just a lot of
dude.
dry humping and disappointment.
No. Hey, did you ever see? Dude, so there was an episode. Was it Maury Povich or something like that? There was actually a group like in Chicago or something like that for a while called what was it? Hookers for Jesus. And like their whole thing was they would like try to witness to their Johns while they were having sex because like it was the weirdest thing I ever saw. Listening to them try to explain that, I was like, I think you're missing what you. Yeah,
I mean, if you think about it, they could use the Mary Magdalene argument.
I
right?
guess maybe.
You know,
I don't
it's
know.
just like
but,
it's just like Jesus accepted her. He accepted her, right? She had the Shroud of Turin. Like I said before,
there's a porn star named Jenna Presley, who Jenna Presley, she became a Christian. She retired from the industry. She became a Christian, and now she's a pastor. And I don't know. That would just seem really weird. You know who else is a Christian now and is like really religious? Is Randy Spears.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh, I know where the church is that this chick is a pastor at.
Really?
Yeah, she's in San Diego at the Cornerstone Church.
I just can't imagine. That would be weird to me. Like, can you imagine? Like, you're watching porn and then you go to church on Sunday and you're feeling bad about yourself, anyways, right? Because like that's your life now. You're just watching that, and then like you go and it's like there she is. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I've heard
because people know who Randy Spears is, right? Like Randy Spears is like Randy Spears, so like it's just kind of a weird thing. But yeah, he became really, really. There's actually a documentary on YouTube about him where he talks about it, like how he got into the industry and how his life was just really empty and and.
Well, I mean, yeah, it says here, like, on his wiki, he basically said that there's a lot of drug problems. I mean, what was it? Dakota Sky, they found her body last week. She was like 27.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. But it's just sad.
She was, she was born in 94. And they just found her, dead. She actually, posed a topless photo next to a George Floyd memorial, posted it on social media, got trolled really hard, and then a couple of days later she killed herself, or she probably OD'd. It says here, has not yet been confirmed, but she reportedly struggled with alcoholism and fentanyl addiction.
Oh man.
And she was found in I think by her husband in her RV or something like that. So yeah, I mean that just happened the other day. It's like I remember when like August Ames died by suicide because it was after a bullying incident online. She said something and people were bullying her, and then a couple of days later she killed herself. Now I don't remember if those 100% were correlated, but
there was another big name. I can't remember who it was, but I remember seeing it in the news about. Like a couple of years ago, there was a girl who died. She was Canadian. That's what I just remember about her. She was Canadian. So TW would probably know her.
You think all Canadians know each other?
Right. Exactly. No.
There's only 37 million of them, Enosh.
I know. Well, but no, I can't remember what her name was, but apparently they found her dead too. Like I watched the Randy Spears thing, and he talked about like he came to LA to get into regular films, right? And like he was doing like a soap opera and stuff like that, but then like just one thing led to another. He needed money. He was down on his luck, and he ended up doing this. And then by the time he got into it, like he just kind of fell into it, and before he woke up and it was like 20 years later, and You know,
it's
weird. It's weird.
I get it. You get addicted to the work and you get addicted to everything else that comes with it. And there's a lot of, I mean, out of print here says here, too many porn stars now normally die of drug and alcohol addiction, which is, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the older you get and the more you look at the horrors of that industry and you're just like, yeah, that's a thing.
Sounds like the wrestling industry.
I mean, it kind of is. It's performative. Right. It's performative. Think about it. Like they have I mean, it's like normal intercourse is not like you're watching it in a movie. It's like the angles that they do, like the weird things that they do, like the squirting. I never understand the squirting, but like, and that's like, you know, a lot of loss of bodily fluid. And they just kind of like, they run, like, you know, look at that. What was it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. I believe you, buddy. But there's a lot of that goes on and a lot of like craziness that happens behind the scenes, you know. And like I was when I had a friend of mine in LA who had a studio down south of the 110, so a little south of downtown LA, and it was not necessarily the best neighborhood, but right above him was a porn studio, and they shot a bunch of I think I forget what was her name, like Jocelyn Stone. Did a whole bunch of like double anal with whatever BBCs, I think was her fetish. And so she, you know, so that was a thing.
That was weird that just like rolled off the tongue. Like just like,
well, I mean, no, because that's how we
double anal.
I mean, if I remember correct, because my friend kind of pitched it like, you know, she's into some weird kinky shit, dude. You know, I met her. She was very friendly. But what was really funny about that was a year later, I was working for the LA Unified School District. And I was working at a school literally down the block from this building. And I walked outside on my break and I looked up and I could see it. And I'm all like, man, they shoot porn there. You can see the school.
I have a buddy that he lived in New York. I mean, he's from New York originally, and he worked in television and broadcast in New York. And a girl that he worked with who was a producer ended up getting into porn. And he, you know, and she was like a BBW kind of, you know, porn thing. And like, but he dated her and, you know, he was, I can't remember how that came up, but like, he was telling me about like some of her, some of the things, you know, that she got into and, you know, and just how, you know, just kind of really took her on a weird, you know, thing that like she was one person and then next time he saw her, she was, you know, completely something else, you know.
Well, I used to date a stripper actually back in 2004. I was going through like a pretty crazy family thing at the time and I just needed a distraction. And so my friend took me out to a strip club and we were hanging out and I met this one girl there and she was from Tacoma, Washington. I'm from Portland. And so we kind of hit it off on that front. And then we ended up like hanging out for the summer, just kind of like casually dating over the summer. I didn't know that she was addicted to meth. And so she hid that pretty well until, you know, meth heads have a tendency of kind of finding each other, right? So we ended up like going out with a group of my friends, and there are some friends of mine that I knew had dabbled in meth, but like I didn't know that they were like really into it because they were military. And then I found out that like, no, they were really into it. And so she was hanging out with them quite a bit. And it got, I don't know how bad it got or whatever, because like I never really found out all the details. And quite frankly, I never really wanted to, because I was looking for my own distraction. You know, I was looking to get away from my own family situation. And so I just didn't want to deal with any of that shit. And so like, you know, we hung out forever and then it just kind of like teetered out by the end of the summer. And what was really funny about that was like, she would use men. She would absolutely use men. Anyway, she would use sex to get whatever she could out of men. Right. And so, or at least the idea of sex, she would tease it a lot. And she was a stripper, so she would meet these kind of guys. And so she would like, you know, I think she was doing some stuff. But at the end of the summer, we hadn't really talked for like 2 weeks. And then she calls me up one day and she's bitching at me. And she was like, why weren't you at work? Because I was working the box office at the drive-in. She's like, why weren't you at work last night? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, why weren't you at work? I came by. I'm like, I haven't seen you like in 2 weeks. What's going on? She's like, no, I came by with this guy that I was with. We wanted to go see a movie. I'm like, wait, hold on. You're with someone else? She's like, yeah, we were at the nudist colony and then we wanted to go see a movie because it's nudist colonies in San Diego. It's like it's holding anyway. And I'm like, I basically at that point, like, I kind of just, I was like, no, F you, I never want to see you again, sort of thing. 'Cause she was crazy. She was crazy. You know, I actually ran into her about 2 years later. She came by the theater one night and I was there. She looked like a Walmart greeter, you know, like she just looked terrible. And haven't heard from or seen her since. I have no idea, but it's, you know, you get into some of those weird things, but I'm saying, like, you know, she was already kind of an addictive personality person. She already had the manipulation stuff down, and being in that environment and being able to use, because she was a cute girl, very cute, very attractive. And she was able to use that on like mostly military men who were just looking to score basically and get what she wanted and manipulate a bunch of different people. And yeah, a lot of it was amplified by being in that community. And then also the drugs. So, you know, she hit it really well, and I hope she's okay. No, I did hear she got married. We had a mutual friend, and I did hear she got married, and then she she was still cheating on the husband with apparently other guys from the club. She got herpes as a result. And then the guy, she got herpes because she got sexually assaulted, which is terrible. But then she told her husband, and her husband dumped her and left her.
Man.
So that's like, damn, that's messed up. So every once in a while, because I go to Tacoma every once in a while, because I'm only like 30 minutes away. I just like, I'm walking through the mall, and it's like a huge mall, but I walk through the mall and I'm like just wondering, like, am I ever going to run into her here? And for one, like with the mask on, she wouldn't recognize me. I probably wouldn't recognize her. But if that ever did happen, that would just be like a wild, like, hey, I haven't seen you in 15 years. Yeah. How the fuck you been? By the way, these are my children. It's crazy stuff, man. Anyway,
I'm looking at this setup, and we kind of look funny that like everybody else is off screen, but you and me, and we're having this conversation. I feel like H Bart's is like between two ferns.
Super chat.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, well, no, it's all great, but it is late. It is late for you guys. It's late for me.
Yeah, it's almost.
Love you all. Always fun to talk to you guys all. Love you, H Barts. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks a lot.
All right, peace out.
Good times, everyone. You do suck your Matt misses her. I'm a softie for that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I like to help people who need it, sort of thing. So it was a weird time. I'm not even going into the full details of that because it gets pretty bad. One point, she kept me awake for like 50, 56, 60 hours, somewhere in there. I was awake all on a rope. You know how crazy it is to be awake for that long and to not be on drugs? I was seeing shit. And chain smoking like a motherfucker. I was like, anyway, old school shit.
That's awesome.
No, dude, you get it. Like I was pretty ingratiated into the whatever, man. I knew people in the industry in San Diego and stuff. I haven't talked to them in years, and they're not bad people. It's just the way the whole thing plays out. God, I hate the lighting. It makes me look like I've just got this massively fat neck. Cool thing is I'm going to go see a sleep specialist. And if I have apnea because of like the fat, I can actually get my insurance to take it out. So
neat.
I'm hoping for liposuction paid for by the state. There we go. All right. And let's see here. Simon Section, a $3 super chat. Thank you, man. Says Matt Jarbo with a Walmart greeter hater. I don't hate Walmart greeters. But they kind of, you walk in and it's like, hey,
get your shit and get out.
I get claustrophobia just being outside of a Walmart.
How? You're outside.
That's the weirdest thing. I feel claustrophobic. Like the parking lot is so full, and like just thinking about it, like how is it inside?
I understand that. Oh, see you later, Javi. And then hold on, Benson here with the £2 super chat. Will Ferrell's Batman's taking on Conan Les. I haven't watched the Conan finale yet. I gotta watch the Conan finale, and I love it, but I gotta check it out. Check it out tomorrow. All right, actually, on that note, guys, I do gotta wrap this thing up, man. But real quick, H Barts, dude, it's been fun. I know Enosh came in and we kind of dominated the conversation, but I appreciate you coming by, dude. I really appreciate you. I just want you to know that, not just for like the other stuff, but because I do appreciate you as a person.
Arts Buck Theater.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that one day.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that, Hong Kong.
time.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that and stuff like that, and then find stuff on like Amazon to check out so we can do it on Twitch. But yeah, to everyone else, I mean, who came on in and hung out, we had a pretty decent night. I think there was like about 1,300 total playbacks, which is actually pretty good. And that's awesome. So it's been a good run. I'm going to go and try to get in front of a fan because I am hot. I am so hot. Not in a sexual way or like an attractiveness way. I literally am like boiling in my room. So
look, Matt,
yeah.
Actually I'm in LA. Like, I don't know if you're feeling the same type of temperature I am, but I'm pretty cool.
Right now, I'm in Olympia, Washington, and it's we're getting this massive heat wave. Right now it's 65 degrees, but I don't have my fan on, so it gets kind of stagnant. So it's like tomorrow is going to hit 101 degrees by 6 p.m. and then it's going to taper off, but it's going to remain 80 degrees until all night long. So if I do a stream tomorrow night, I will probably I'll probably end up like being off camera and then not doing it very long because I could just keep it's
never mind. I'm at 66 over here, so I'm there.
Yeah, well, no, we're like about the same heat wise right now. It's if I walk out of this room, it's going to be nice walking out of the room. If I had a fan on, I could feel it, but it's like, I have the lights and the computer and everything else. So Alvi here, it says Matt is hot and bothered. You just says Matt is sexy hot. Shut the fuck up.
Here in Miami, it's 81.
Oh
yeah. Well, 81 it's Miami. And then Out of Print said here, says Matt's gonna need super chats for a good window unit. Oh man.
Oh yeah, we need to get you an AC in there.
No, I'll tell you this though. My girlfriend and I were talking about like down the road, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to like. I'm hoping is I can build, because I really enjoy doing the Hollywood After Dark stuff, and I think a lot of people tend to like it. And as it grows and everything else, we were talking about like as the girls get older, because right now we have a 3-bedroom house, and so the girls share one room and I have my office. And I'm like, well, eventually I'm gonna have to get something different. So we've been kind of like trying to figure out how we want to do it. And I've been looking at like literally just like getting an RV, right? Like an RV, and then just soundproofing the bedroom and putting my office in an RV. So like that's something we've been talking about, and that's very weird to think about. It's like I could travel the countryside, covering movies from places like Wyoming, where no one's at. Plus, whoa, no. Okay, for one, I can't stand humidity. It is terrible, and two, but I have been through Alabama. I did drive through Alabama once. We just drove through real quick. Didn't stop. You Just Suck here says RV chats with Jarbo. Well, I mean, yeah, like I actually watch a lot of those channels. I watch a lot of those like camping channels and those RV life channels. I don't get it, man. Like, I mean, that kind of, who would want to like, to live in an RV and like do a YouTube channel where you're like, oh, I live by myself in my van. And I sleep in Walmart parking lots, and they get like millions of views per episode. And they're like, I still live in my van. I'm like, you're making so much money hand over fist, but you still live in your van. Like, you have to have a house somewhere.
You can film your own version of No Man Land.
What is it? I lose my family. I lose my girlfriend. I lose my kids. They leave me behind. All I have is my Kia Soul and my Uber Eats account, and it's just like, that's my goal now. That's my job, is to travel.
And us.
And us. I could do StreamYard from my phone outside of a Starbucks after they've closed and hack into the Wi-Fi or whatever. It's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about movies tonight. I'm outside of a Starbucks. This is the true, movie nomad life. I'll be leaving here and going to see a movie, and then washing my genitals in the sink because I don't have a working shower in my car.
And then Martin Scorsese will personally hand you an Oscar for real cinema.
You know what? That could be real cinema verite. There we go. That could work out pretty well. I'd be okay with that. You Do Suck here says, do deliveries with the RV. You have any idea how much gas that would be? Like, you have any idea? Like, I mean, like I did an order tonight. It was like 10 miles away from like a Red Robin, right? Like just a restaurant, and it was like middle of nowhere. And it's like, so it's like 10 miles up and it's 10 miles back. And it's like, oh my God. You know,
Do they pay you for the 10 miles back?
No, I get, it's been slow. Like I thought tonight would be kind of busy because of the heat. I did a couple Baskin Robbins deliveries, and it really does depend on where you are in my area, at least, and like what time of day. So normally I would stay out later, but because I do these streams at around 11, like I kind of supplement whatever income I don't do on there. I kind of supplement that here, which is okay because I save gas and mileage on my car. And this is obviously more fun. But it's like certain areas, like most of the drivers dip out at about like 9:30 because a lot of the restaurants close, you know? So like the higher end family restaurant type stuff, they close down. And so it's really at that point, like, you know, McDonald's, like Taco Bell, Jack in the Crack and whatever. I've learned that if you stay out a little bit later, you can actually get some pretty decent orders because people are drunk and they don't want to, you know, especially on the weekends. And since a lot of the drivers don't stay out late, and I'm one of the only ones that do, I kind of get like pick of the litter, you know what I mean? And like it will skyrocket in earnings. But the only downside though is usually it's like Taco Bell, which is like if it's a long wait in the line, that sucks. If it's Jack in the Box, same thing, you know. So you get your good days, you get your bad days. Let's see here. Dark Beast says, my DoorDash the other day was garbage, bad customer service. Well, what about it was bad? I'm kind of curious because we're limited on what we can do. You know what I mean? Like if you want your Arby's H-bar, it's, I know you want your fucking Arby's. Okay. I'm going to get you a fucking barbecue. All right.
H-bars, you like Arby's? What?
Yeah, Arby's is good.
Arby's is good. Yeah, I had it before.
Never
I like Arby's. They're pretty good. They're expensive. Their curly fries are great. But the thing is with that though, it's like, so all we get is an order. So tonight, for example, I had a double order from Wendy's and it was like $15. You know, so I go to Wendy's and there's only like three Wendy's in my area, right? There's 3 Wendy's in my area and they're all pretty spaced out. And this was like, you know, they had said pick up in store. Usually I go through the drive-thru, but if I have a double order from this Wendy's, sometimes they don't let me have both orders. I have to like get one order and then cycle back through around and get the other order. But if they were going to let me go in the lobby, no problem, right? I can just wait, get what I need and bounce. But tonight, even though it said go in the lobby, the doors were locked. And so the line was like 10 cars deep and it took me like 25 minutes of waiting in line. You know, and I didn't want to like blow my AC because it was just, at that point you're just wasting gas. And, you know, so you're sitting there. This is I think around like 8:30, 9 p.m. somewhere in there.
Oh, that's like nothing.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, so you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it's, you know, you go and drop off, but it's, you know, I mean, I don't mind doing it. I was listening to, like Charisma on Command videos, you know, it's all like how not to be Brie Larson. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, oh, okay. Hold on here. Dark Beast says I'm handicapped. So everyone brings my orders in the door for me. He waited until after he delivered to say he wouldn't. So I left the order out of reach and in the rain. So I had to have my landlord get it. Yeah. See, here's the thing with that though, man. Like I was delivering DoorDash a couple months ago when it was raining to someone like actually kind of like just around the corner from me. It was my last one of the night and they didn't have an awning by the door and it was raining. I'm like, I'm not going to leave their food out here. That's fucked up. Right? Like that's really messed up if I leave their food. So I literally like, they didn't want me to knock on the door. I'd pounded on the door till they opened it. I'm like, look, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm not going to leave your food sitting out in the rain like this. Cause it's just going to get soaked, you know? So here you go. And, you know, I took off and went home and stuff. Like there's nothing wrong with going above and beyond. Some drivers get lazy and the key with that is just leave really explicit instructions for that, and you should be okay. Some drivers, they don't give a shit. Like literally, they're just not going to care. And that is the downside to it. Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There are days I don't care, but I still do the base of the job. You know, it's not because it really the base. I mean, what is it? It's just go get the food, put it in the car, don't fucking spill it, take it to someone's house, and put it out. That's it. You know, what I tell you, what I fucking hate though. What I fucking hate are apartment complexes. You know, I'm like, just meet me the hell outside. All right. Don't make me park, you know, walk all the way to your building, fumble with trying to like get the gate code to open up, find an elevator, go up, drop off your food. No, fuck you. Get down there and you meet me.
Yeah, I mean, I do that when I was at my friend's house. Like, we all went downstairs to wait for our food.
Yeah. I had a guy, what was it? The other day, the lady did that, 2 days ago. She met me outside. It was nice. It's just like, all right, cool, thank you. It's just so much easier that way. Like when I go out of town and I order Uber, I will literally walk outside and I'll meet them. I'm like, I'll just make your job easier. Like I want the food. I don't want to wait for you to come and bring it to my door, bitch. I'm following that on the fucking app. I'm like, where's my burrito? There it is. I'm like, I'll get you so then I don't have to, it's just, some people leave really terrible instructions. Like I went to this house tonight. I'd been there before, thankfully, but like there's no visible address and it looks like a murderer lives there. So it's like, there's one, like Toyota Fusion that's parked there. And it's like, there's this burnt up, beat up car next to it. The whole front yard is like just covered in debris. You start walking on the staircase to get up there, and I'm a rotund, portly American. And so like you start feeling like soft spots on the thing. And I'm like, I already broke my back once this year. I'm not doing that shit again. So you just, you go up and you put the food down and then it's like, all right, whatever. And someone, I don't know. It's always crazy. Let's see here. Darkby says, I will always send detailed texts to find my door and ask them to bring it in because my door's at the back of the house. Yeah, no, I mean, most people will do it, dude. I think you might just have to like sit there and like, incentivize them with a bit bigger of a tip. That's about it,
The bigger problem I see with Uber Eats in my area is that a lot of the drivers are mostly Hispanic. So when you give like instructions in English, they don't respond to it at all.
¿Qué pasó?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I've had people, there was a guy, a driver at Taco Bell the other day. There's a few of us in there that were waiting for some orders. And the guy clearly didn't speak English. Clearly did not speak English. And he looked super nervous while he was there too. Cause like he's at Taco Bell that's run by a bunch of white kids. You know what I mean? So they're not going to speak Espanol. That's just not going to happen. But clearly the guy was like, he's doing his job. I don't care. Like, yeah, have at it, Haas. So, that's the thing. Yeah. You have to tip first. You have to tip first on DoorDash, dude. Do Uber. You can tip afterward. You can like set a pre-front tip and then you can alter it if the service is shitty. So just do Uber if you guys got it.
I do.
Yeah. It's like, I like doing it, but it's, I would love to spend that time like writing and like, developing shit. Like, I haven't done Podio commentary in a while, mostly because I've just been so busy. So it's like, if I could eliminate the 4 hours I work doing, the delivery, I could focus on other content. But that's an inevitability. It's just going to take some time.
And that's why people need to become a member.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to segue into a channel member, but I also haven't said thank you to everyone who is a channel member there. We got people like Savvy Melons Hobby, who was here. And then, of course, H-Barts. Look right over here. Right over here, H-Barts, his name right there. Second in a row. Look at that. Look at him. No, but I really appreciate everybody. I mean, I've been on for almost 4 hours. I got to get to bed. I just want to say, like, it's always fun to have the conversations. We vary things up here. We agree, we disagree. It's fantastic. I just want to keep the combos going and talk about fun things. And obviously,
and we're cut.
Did he die?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Ryan here says, I feel bad coming here late. There we go. I've been on for 4 hours. So it's like, it's all good, dude. It's all good. It was a good night. It was fun times. DoorDash got him. Yeah, well, they're going to have to be paying me out insurance here pretty soon, I think. So I just got my case settled today. So that's pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I went to the clinic and the orthopedic doctor, and he was all like, "You feeling okay?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "All right, here you go." I'm like, "Cool." That's about it. Took like 10 minutes. That's it, just to get all that taken care of. Let's see. Darkby says we need to schedule our big Indiana Jones discussion some night. Yeah, man, we do. We'll have to figure that out.
Actually, I feel like we need to start red pilling you into anime.
No.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Ryan did get me this. This came in the mail the other day. So Ryan, if you're here, thank you. I got it. I just want to make sure you see that I got it. I'm going to try to watch it. How long is it? It's only, it's hour 27. That's not bad. I'll pop it. Just try to pop it in tomorrow night. Give it a watch. I need to watch Batman: The Long Halloween as well.
Have you watched Batman Under the Red Hood yet?
No, I haven't.
Dude, you need to watch that.
There's so much I need to watch.
Yes.
There's so much I need to watch. There's a lot there. You know what I mean? This is why we need Blinkist for fucking movies.
Like you know how I always say I want a Robin movie? Well, that is basically a Robin movie in a sense. Because it deals with the second Robin.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, and the thing is, there's multiple Robins. Each of them have their dynamics.
Fine.
Like you have Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne.
Stephanie Brown.
And Stephanie Brown, not many people count her because she only lasted very few issues.
Yes.
Well, I'll have to find a way to check those out. So we'll have to do that. But all right, guys. Thank you everyone for coming on by.
Matt, you kind of have to check out Prison School though, for real. Just one episode. That's all I'm asking.
No. If you really want to ruin Matt, I have a series that I do love. It involves a male character that he boards these young girls into his home. These girls are out of towners.
Look, man, I've seen this kind of story play out before. All right, he's either going to try to kill him or have sex with them or both.
No.
I mean, I'm not against either one of those things happening, provided they're of
that happens. He treats them like a gentleman.
Happens.
It doesn't happen.
You're telling me it's an anime where a loner male treats women with respect? I don't believe you.
Yes.
Are you talking about that kitty one?
No. Well, like I said, these girls are out of towners. They're from a different culture. He boards them because the student exchange program in a sense.
But he doesn't try to have sex with them.
No, but they do want to get with him.
So that hold on. Let's pump the brakes on this one for a hot second. So what you're telling me is this guy brings in foreign exchange students. These female
he's
foreign
forced
exchange
to by the government.
So he's like no, what?
They could sort of enlist them as a boarding house for these girls that are trying to assimilate to the culture life in Japan.
So the government tells this guy that he's got to take up young female foreign exchange students that want to assimilate to the culture and not have sex with them, but they want to have sex with him. And then he's like, no, please, no. Right. That's kind of what I'm getting here.
Something like that. Yes.
And I want to watch this. Why?
Well, because it's funny. I love it because it's the characters, how they react with him.
Mine is way different.
Okay. So it's kind of like they're hitting on him and he's like, no,
yes,
don't touch my pee-pee.
Yeah.
And then every guy watching is like, no, let him touch your pee-pee. Let him touch your pee-pee.
No, people
don't you understand what I want as
I'm just gonna ruin the catch for you. All the girls are monsters. One of them is a lamia.
Wait, hold on.
The
Quick
other
question,
one is a centaur.
But do they all have vaginas?
Yes.
Then it's fine. It's anime. All right, it's anime. It's not gonna matter.
But I think the thing is, Japan likes it because it's like, how do you fuck this?
Listen, if any country is going to ask how you fuck this, it's going to be Japan. All right, and they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way for that to happen. And then they're going to put it in a vending machine.
Anyway, the series is called Monster Basune.
Yeah, Yvonne here pointed that out. Yvonne here pointed that out. That's funny.
No, dude.
I'm just saying it's like, okay. I mean, just saying it's that's okay. Here's the thing. Find me a clip of it on YouTube and post it in the, do we have an anime forum or anime thing in the Discord?
You should.
I don't want an anime. I think like I can only handle like I gave Brian his own theme park section because like he really likes talking about theme parks. So I mean like you know, and then he still DMs me some of the things, a lot of the things. He still DMs me on Twitter, and I'm like, I made you a room on Discord. I love you, buddy, but you know. Let's see here. Just put it in the vids and gallery section.
All right.
And
I'll put it up.
And then tag me.
Okay.
And then I'll check out something involving this thing. I can't say that
You're not gonna want. I'm just like, just watch the clip just to get a laugh.
All right.
Prison School is way different.
I just like violence and like
yes.
Okay, watch Vampire Hunter
like
D then.
isn't Goblin Slayer like that was one that got like a lot of people like
It was a rape scene that people.
Is that what it was? Okay,
clamoring
well, I
about.
don't really care about the. I mean, I don't want there to be a rape doesn't do it for me. Sorry.
Yeah, kind of.
You know, only if it's like no. Okay. It's like.
But if you want like the ultra violence,
just put your pee. Just put your.
You want like the ultra violence. Like I said.
Well, not.
No.
I like things. I'm stretching my back out, but it's like, yeah, I mean, I like, you know, I with some animes that I mean, I watch a lot of kid stuff. I've been watching Doc McStuffins on Disney Plus. Kill me.
Well, like I said, if you want to watch the ultra violence anime stuff, Vampire Hunter D is like the gateway one.
Okay.
Also, 8 Man After, which 8 Man After is on Retro Crush, which I told you about.
Yeah.
Which is free.
Okay.
And I know how much you love free.
I'm only what? I like free things, but I'm also not against paying for them.
Well,
what are you saying about me, Jess? What are you saying? You're saying I'm
I'm
cheap?
joking. I'm joking.
You're calling me a thief, Jess? Because piracy isn't theft, buddy. Anyway.
No, but it's not piracy.
Matt,
it's not piracy.
just Prison School first place.
Oh my god. I'm in. You know what? Here, Rainbow the Gamer is a great point. Matt, when are you going to go to bed? There we go. That's a good question. That's a great question. I thank you, Rachel, for that question.
It's almost 3:55, so.
All right. Well, you guys go to bed. I'm going to go to bed because I really am hot, like, and I'm very sweaty, and I need water. And you can see it in my face. Can you see my eyes? How tired they are? They're tired. This is tired, Matt. This is tired, Matt. Dark Beast here says Doc McStuffin's porn. He gets taken to Pound Town by. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Taylor, what's going on, Taylor? I didn't know you were here. Buddy. Says Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust is my second favorite movie. Cool. I think I have that on DVD. I think I got that somewhere down the road. Forehead is shiny. Yeah, it's because it's called male pattern baldness. Thanks, Dick.
I don't see it.
No, well, no, it's no. What it is the lights are on and like the settings are all messed up on this thing. If I kind of mess with it, you can see it auto does it a little bit and it looks a little bit better. But the problem though is that I don't have the software installed to be able to mess with this. And the other camera just ran out of juice.
Can I ask H Bart something?
Yeah. Sure.
Is that your dog on that picture?
Yeah.
Wow, everybody has that dog. My sister has that dog, dude.
The exact one.
Exact looking one.
That's
a pretty popular looking dog.
Everybody likes small dogs.
No, that's not
They're
true.
easier to control.
They're not easier to control. That is
They're
fallacy.
easier to control.
They piss everywhere. Hyper, and you fucking frighten them, and this is like they pee everywhere, dude.
Oh,
little
like, but still hyper.
Yeah. Try to break your 50-hour week. No, not with 2 kids and not during a heat wave. So yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Taylor says, I've been hanging out silently, long day, night of drive. I hear you, brother. I hope you had fun. Taylor. All right. Yeah. I gotta go. I'm
gonna call it a night as well.
Right.
It was fun, Matt. H Barts, you're a legend, bro. It was cool
Nice
being
meeting
with you.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to kick you both. Have yourself a great one. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much to Jess and Hobby for coming on in and hanging out. That was a lot of fun. And Andrew and TW and Anthony and Enosh and especially H Barts here. I just want to say, man, thank you. Just bottom of my heart, dude. Thank you very much for all your support. It's good finally getting the chance to talk to you. And I hope we can do this more often. I want to talk physical media, man, and all that stuff. It's good. It's good shit. So, but go get some sleep. I don't know if you're home or you're at work. Well, at this
I'm
point,
at
you're probably
home, but I'm staying
yeah.
up to keep my work schedule.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, I hear. Okay, go play video games then. Go.
I got
Go
my
play.
PS5 right here.
Yeah, enjoy it. What are you playing anyway?
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Weeb, you weeb.
What?
I haven't played any of those games. I hear it's good though. I hear it's good.
It is. It's the only one I've played, and it's like the 16th game in the series.
Yeah, I saw that this weekend they've got a bunch of those games on sale, but I haven't bought the PS5 yet because I'm gonna wait until like I'm just gonna wait like a year and I'll be fine. You know, I want there to be a redesign.
I don't believe that Abandoned Game is not Kojima. It is his game.
You think so?
Yeah, there's way too many fucking coincidences.
You know what? I'll have to look up some
There's
videos
a
talking
Reddit
about
thing I
that.
can send you that shows all the
Yeah.
coincidences.
Yeah. I'll take a look at that because I mean, I've seen like the trailer for it and like it looked cool. Like I saw it at E3 and like it looked dope. And that was pretty cool. And then I'm like, but that looks like PT. It looks like a Kojima thing.
Yeah, he made
and that's the vibe I got.
purposely indie.
Okay. I mean, well, it would make sense. Kojima's a weird dude, so he'll just kind of do whatever.
Just
man.
a troll.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw someone the other day. I'll leave it with this. I was reading a tweet. I think it was yesterday, and this guy said that he actually went and pitched a Metal Gear Solid anime to Kojima, and he said that he was explaining like what he like using other anime to kind of like explain what this would be, like what his vision was, and then apparently like Kojima started laughing at him, like talking to his translator, and they started laughing at him. And the guy was like, I don't know what I did wrong. And apparently Kojima just points at him and just goes, otaku. I don't know how true that is, but it just feels like a Kojima thing, you know, not like a Tomonobu Itagaki thing. Cause that he would just like hit you or something, but like Kojima, you know, that's what it feels like. All right. I'm going to go black out, dude. I'm so tired. But thank you very much, everybody. Have yourself a fantastic day. Please, if you haven't already, like the video. Subscribe if you're new. And check back tomorrow for not another 4-hour stream, I'll tell you that. But definitely something. All right.